What's up, everyone, and welcome to Amico Forever. How's everybody doing?
I'm good.
We have a man they call Cyrus.
Hello.
Look at that handsome avatar. He's so red. And then we got Rab, the Retro Advisory Board.
Hello. I can't.
And we have Nick, Geeks with Cash.
Where? Where's he at? Where's he at? I got beef with him.
The editing machine, we like to call him.
Who gets nothing done, regardless how much he edits.
And he absolutely, positively will not stop. Anyway.
I like to look productive while not being productive.
Right. You know, you want to put as
productive's way overrated.
Work, time, and effort into it to accomplish nothing. Oh my God, what's happening, chat? 1 inch biceps. Such an awesome name, by the way.
I thought for a second you were gonna say chaps. 1 inch by chaps.
1 inch by chaps.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
I didn't know we were required to wear chaps. Wait, we have to wear pants now?
The problem with chaps.
Uniforms.
The
Professional show.
The problem with chaps is they chafe.
Jeff Davis, what's happening? Oh, you got a lot of people in here.
Yeah, we got Ted in here. We got some guy called Retro Advisory Report in here. I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, I think a few people. Yeah, right. Who's that guy?
The fake imposter.
Someone
you can ban him.
Fair enough.
I remember him from like a long time ago.
Like forever ago.
I have nostalgia for Rab. I haven't. Mark?
You have nostalgia for Rab?
By the way.
Some retro advisory nostalgia.
That's right.
A little bit.
So, I guess
how's everybody?
They're starting to ship the games, though, right? Did anyone get like an email about that?
I haven't gotten an email yet. I've seen multiple people post about it, but I haven't gotten an email yet.
Fake scam.
Daniel, what's happening?
Oh, there's Daniel. Hey, Daniel.
Daniel.
Hey, Daniel.
No, I am super excited. I know we kind of talked about this on the impromptu reunion on my God, my brain is not working on Sunday evening. But yeah, I am yes, assless chaps, 1 inch assless chaps.
From the mouths of 1 inch biceps.
We don't like much imagination there.
1 inch chaps. I don't know how that would work.
I don't know.
Would he kind of look like
Hey, Rhea.
Would he kind of look like this?
Oh wow.
Yes. Yes. That is 1 inch biceps, as
I'm disturbed by
always
visual
pictured him.
aids on the show tonight.
This is like one of those therapy sessions where here's the doll. Show us where the
did the bad man touch you?
I think I need to channel some saggy for this. Yes, yes.
No.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I'd like to know. Some people were asking. Let's see. Here we go. Where are they sold out? Yeah, they're still available. I believe they're still available. I have.
Yeah, I think
What's that?
Villanova already answered that. He said, "Yeah, there's some of them still available."
Yeah.
Well,
Born,
according
you don't want to know, man. You don't want to know.
Bart's like, what did I walk into?
Yeah, you don't want to know the answer to that question.
At least we're not talking seltzers yet. That's in the second hour. No, I'm kidding.
We thought about being on the rails today, and then we went, nah, we're just going to go off of them anyway. And it's a lot of work to get it back on the rails, and just too much work, man.
What are these rails you speak of? I do not know.
They're those things that we had banned, sir.
I just read my kids' Toodles, the railroad locomotive that goes off the rails. I feel like I've prepared for this chat all night.
In Soviet Russia, ask chaps you.
Ask chaps you. Oh, like what was that guy's name on Saturday morning?
Yakov Smirnoff.
Yakov Smirnoff. Yeah.
Man. Yes. Every time you drink one of those, you have to do the impression. Yep.
So we got all sorts of cool people in here tonight. We got at least like 16 people. We've got our first downvote of the evening. Thank you so much.
Yes!
You love us. You really love us.
Let's go.
Come on, guys. Let's get on it. Well, there's multiple shows going on right now, so
yes, there is actually.
There's a lot to pay attention to.
I think 857 is still going with
with
Smash.
Those guys are great. I was hanging out with them earlier.
Yeah.
And Go Game Go has Panda stuff on.
Panda right now too. Which that's why if everybody's wondering why Panda's not here, he'll probably depending how long they go. But if you ever watch a good game go, they go for a long night.
You're probably not going to see Panda tonight because he's going to be really busy on Go Game Go stream.
Right. But he said he's going to try to get us on the tail end. But if not, it's totally understandable. Ooh, on the tail end.
Oh, Cyrus is very excited now.
Panda on the tail end.
We're at.
I want to shoot for a solid B team here. Let's keep up our game, guys.
Keep it.
I ain't getting on no plane.
We don't get guns. We just get BB guns. We don't actually get real guns.
I love it when a plan comes together.
It's Amico forever.
That'd be great if we ever have one come together.
Oh, perfect. This is a perfect look at this. Can anyone tell me what's going on in between rounds and Ring King? Even as a kid, I was like, what are they doing to each other? Like, remember that thing back in the day? Don't try this at home. Remember that thing back in the day? Like, at least when I was in high school, there'd be people that they'd have you stand against a wall and they'd basically CPR your chest till you passed out.
Whoa.
Like that was like a thing, and like they had to like put a whole like PSA out about it. Don't do that.
Why was this a thing?
Oh, it was a thing. Well,
I think Chuck had a rough childhood. That's all.
This is like people eating Tide Pods or
kind of weird.
But not what we did in high school.
And they're like, "You'll see a past life," and I'm like, "Oh my god, no! I don't want to do that." And then people like the ambulance would come get them, and like, dude, of course, if you press on their heart, it's gonna stop. You're gonna.
This is why I'm glad I've never been popular.
Well, I didn't say it's popular. I just saw it happen. The popular kids were doing it, and I went, "No, thank you. I'm gonna go back to playing my what was I playing at the time? My Intellivision and my NES."
Hell yeah.
Anyways. Chet would say, "Oh my!"
There's a lot going on in the chat.
My.
Chet.
Go to school, right? Oh my!
He keeps bringing up this old character I used to do, Chet, which I barely remember.
So that would be Murdoch. He's kind of got that diehard Bruce.
Remember in shop class when we made our own shivs and hid them in our pillowcases? Remember?
He witnessed a dance off when he was in high school. No way. I've never witnessed a dance off. Like in like 80s gangs in an alley, they'd be like, do, 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 and they pull out their
that's what we should have. But
dancing.
The Amico fans and the Amico critics should have a dance off.
Oh, dude, I have no rhythm. I can't do that. I have no rhythm.
A slow dance off.
We'll settle this with breakdancing.
Yeah, the moment you start breakdancing, I literally breakdances and I start breaking things in my own body trying to do this.
Literal break dancing.
Throw down your card.
You're a shill. You're a shill to the end.
Where did this all start from? Oh yeah, Ring King. Yeah, there was some weird stuff. I never understood that. But even in Punch Out, like you'd hit select and Doc would be like on a Little Mac's shoulder, like, "Whoa, I gave you some stamina. Did you really? I think you gave me the creeps." Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well,
do the Telerico.
Do the Tommy.
Throw down your cardboard, son. Throw down your cardboard.
I once drew me a rabbit that won me 2 gold stars. Patch Adams. Okay, here we go. Question for the panel. Am I misremembering it, or didn't Tommy say that once a game was downloaded for your Amico, you will not need the internet to play it, even if their servers were shut down?
That's correct.
Yeah, to play the game. That is correct. To transfer it back onto to take it off of the block. What is it? The blockchain or the Rab's probably Raven.
No, nothing to do with taking it off the chain. That has nothing to do with it.
It's off the chain, son. It's off the chain.
When you download the game from the Amico Game Shop or from your RFID card, which is going to take it from the game shop, it will download onto your either internal system memory or you have that micro SD card, so you have additional storage. From then on, the system will play directly from there. It doesn't engage with the online server. You can take it offline and never have it online again. It's just access to the game.
Now, when say you want to sell it, that's where you have to be online to put it back on the card.
Nope. You can sell it. You don't have to get back online to sell it. Now, when the next person goes to put it on their system, they are going to need to access to verify that it is a legit copy of the game.
They have not only
but you don't have to go back online.
Yeah, they put the RFID thing onto the console, and then it'll ask you to enter in like the key, and whoever's the key and the card is the one who's
there's
fully
a little
authorized.
bit of confusion about it, and I've seen some misinformation from some people. Basically, Tom.
I've seen a lot of misinformation lately.
What? Misinformation about Amico? Yeah.
Well, honestly, there was some confusion between all of us talking about it the other night. I think that's partially what Tommy was trying to clear up too.
Well,
so, I mean, we've been following it. We don't even completely understand it at this point. I think.
To be fair, Tommy's been a little coy trying to keep some of it secret without giving away too much, having said maybe a little too much at times as well. But yeah, there's a lot I think we can go into.
Can I take a shot at it real quick? Can I just take a shot at it real quick?
Yeah.
Swing away, champ.
All right. So here's how it works, people. Tommy says he's gonna get he's okay with anybody. Like if you have a game, you buy a physical game, you scan it to your Amico, you activate it, right? And then you want to sell it. You go sell it, fine, whatever. The next person down the chain gets it. They can activate it on their Amico, do whatever you want. As long as you don't go back online, it's still on your Amico. And he's okay with that because that means
lost control.
You can keep that game as long as you don't ever go back online. But the problem is, if you ever want to get another game, you have to go online.
Right.
So if you're thinking, oh, I've got this amazing...
I fooled the system.
Yeah, I tricked them for this $10 game or $20 game or whatever. That's the only game you're ever going to get.
Yeah.
So when Earthworm Jim comes out, you won't ever be able to get it because you want to keep your extra game.
Well, for those of not everyone is like familiar with things like lost control and stuff, but this is basically what they kind of they presume a certain percentage of piracy or people that might take their system offline and try to never put it online again. So you lose, on the margins, you might lose 3% of sales that way on income. But the people who take it offline, you can't go on the game shop. You can't get updates to those games. You're not going to get that free game on your birthday. Happy birthday! You get a free game. No, you don't because you went offline.
Right.
You wanted to steal a $10 game. If there is a peer-to-peer, the networks that Tommy's talked about, they want to do. Don't know when that would happen, but if there's a peer-to-peer network, you won't be able to put that system online with your friends, and you won't have access to the leaderboards. So the nice things the system does on holidays and stuff, it won't have any of that baked into it. If you're going to take it offline, that's kind of the price you pay to steal $80 worth of games.
Right. Okay.
The way I look,
$10 worth of games or however many you bought. I mean,
right.
Let's be realistic. Most of these games are pretty inexpensive. So, I mean, if you really wanted to steal them, I mean, aren't there better consoles to sell?
So that enables the code that's on the back is how it's going to be able to tell when it goes to the next person.
Yeah,
that's the confirmation. So that's how they can't keep. That's how they can't really. I mean, it helps a little bit with theft, but
the way I look at it,
like
this is a pro-consumer take because Tommy's taking the hit. He's not letting the customer take the hit. He's saying okay, you get a free game if you if you want to do all that, that's cool. Take your free game. That's pretty pro-consumer, I think,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. People will complain about it. I don't know. It is what it is.
Basically,
there's a couple of nice things about this system.
It's not worth it.
There's a couple of nice things about the way this works, right? I would never really, and I like that they're calling this like boxed editions rather than physical media now because it's not really physical media. It is, but it isn't, right? It kind of is. It skirts that line.
He's not calling it physical media.
They're basically calling it boxed editions.
He has called it that. But
we have all called it that in the past. And he's right. It's not really an accurate term, and it's not. What it is basically a proactive way of being able to trade and sell your digital games or potentially return them within a certain period of time like you would any normal game to a store, right?
This is what we've asked for forever, right?
This is what people have been wanting from digital media forever, is the ability to be able to do this. So this is a step in the right direction for digital media to be able to do exactly this kind of thing. And honestly, I think this whole system itself kind of has legs, right? Because I see something like this being adopted because nobody has a good solution right now outside of Tommy now to deal with completely digital consoles, right? Nobody and no retailers don't want to carry them because then people aren't coming into the stores often to pick stuff up. They're not going to buy the accessories, and they lose a lot of money because people aren't coming into the store. This allows people to go in, get a few little extras. I mean, it doesn't have to be like a coin in an RFD card. It could be an amiibo looking thing. It could be anything, right? You could shape it like anything you want to. All it's got to do is have an RFID to it, right? And some sort of code thing. So it could look like anything. So they can make these things really appealing and look like any kind of collectible thing or statue or whatever that you want, right? And sell that to somebody, and the chances of them returning it actually kind of get lower in a lot of cases, because what if it's a really cool statue that you bought that happens to come with a code? You buy this mega collector's edition and your code's on the bottom of it. You're not going to return that at that point. Your statue that you paid the extra money for has your code, right? So, things like that. But, it gives you options if you so choose, which is great and very consumer friendly. And it helps retailers out too. So it's a win-win.
Yeah. They are very much open to future modifications. Tommy's spoken a little bit publicly on that. I've had some conversations on the side with him about stuff that they kind of want to do. And obviously, they want to get this out. This is the easiest solution for right now. They have some ideas about how to present physical media to different audiences, because this is a very easy way for you to kind of standardize and say, like, this is our standard physical media. But we could look at other things that we want to do for things that are more appealing to younger children, or things that are more appealing to grandparents, to gift a child that is a game. And then, when you're shopping, you want to give them something more than a gift card. You don't want to just say, I paid $20 for you on the Amico Game Shop. Happy birthday. You want to actually wrap a present and give it to them. And this opens the door for how that could be done. And I think it's just, we have a very limited definition of what is physical media, and throughout gaming history, we have a lot of exceptions to what is physical media. My NES cart is physical media. I put it in, the NES reads directly from the NES cart to read what that game is doing. To play the game, it is taken that data directly from the game during gameplay. That's very different from, if I'm playing, NBA 2K7.
Anything from the Xbox up.
I will never play directly from this disc, from this Blu-ray. I have to take this. This is a medium for me to download. Even though there's a disc on here, it's a medium for me to download onto the system. And then I will always have to play that game as something saved onto a system or saved onto an external hard drive to access that. So physical media has changed in that matter. Physical media has changed from the Magnavox Odyssey, where they sold us games, and they weren't games, they were circuit breakers. The game was actually in the system. Or with the Coleco Telstar Arcade, they sold us games that weren't really games. They were actually mini systems, and the Telstar itself wasn't a system. It was like a dock, like the Switch dock. So our understanding of what is physical media and what is a game shifts through time, and we don't always realize it. I think we have an understanding as gamers of what physical media is. I think most of the audience doesn't care. Most of the potential audience for this won't care. We care very deeply about it, and I think it's something we're all coming to terms with the Xbox Series S all digital and the PlayStation Digital Edition, just being all digital platforms now. But
I have 2
like
points.
Happy
on
medium.
What you're saying when you're done here.
Go ahead. I'm done.
This question, because
Hurry up, Brad.
well, no, these are things just to add on to. They're not like critiques or clarifications. One, you mentioned the disc. Well, the disc is kind of a hindrance on modern systems in a lot of ways, and I say that as someone who bought the disc version of the PS5, because when you put the disc in there, it contains almost none of the data that you're actually using to play the game. Everything is installed on your hard drive, all of it that it needs to run, but you're still tied to the disc in order to be able to play it, because that has your authorization key to be able to play the game that's already fully installed on your drive. So realistically, you're never reading anything off the disc. If it is, it's bare minimum, right? Because it's just wasted time. Yeah. And 2, I'm drawing a blank on my points now. God damn it. On 2, I totally forgot 2. I might remember 2 later. I'm sorry.
My bad. I think I threw you off on my bad.
It's okay.
Coleco Telstar. Damn your reference, sir. No, it's okay.
So there was someone saying, and I'm trying to get through it because they're kind of piling up, but
it's good stuff in the chat.
about hacking the Amico, like the PS1 Mini. I'm pretty sure you can hack anything, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that. So
There's been a lot of concerns like, okay, this is not physical, so what is going to happen as soon as Intellivision dies off? This is going to be junk. First of all, 4 things could happen. One, Intellivision goes belly up, and before they go belly up, they basically say on their end of the servers, they disable, they send the updates so that there's no verification code. So if you've got the physical, if you've got the code, that's accessible. Or if you've got the downloaded game, it's accessible. It doesn't have to check anything for it to load it on your system. So there's no verification key. So that's one option. Another option is someone hacks it like they did the PS1 Mini or open source or whatever, the Wii U, the Wii, the Xbox, all these systems that have been, basically jailbroken. So then you're looking at the case of jailbreaking your Amico after Intellivision goes offline. If you try to jailbreak it before they go offline, you lose access to all those online things that I was, the access to all of the goodies that are part of the system. So there's a price for that. They really don't want you to jailbreak it. There's costs there. Or the thing, they could close out without doing either, and then you lose access to those games, but you still would be able to download them to the SD card. So everything that you are downloaded can be downloaded onto your SD card. If you're playing it offline, then you're still going to be able to, access that. You just won't be able to get online and verify and do all of that process, that component of it. And then the fourth option, they stick around for a while, and this is just the way it is. It's
very good.
You have your data. Intellivision's a long-term company.
I've owned a few systems that were all digital. Like I had that PS Vita TV. I've got a PSP Go. I've got a few different. I've got a Nintendo 3DS, but there are cartridges for that. But most of the games I have on it are digital. Digital's the thing we've been dealing with for a long time. This isn't new. I think people. They had the big scare about the PS3 because they're like, oh no, we're all going to lose everything. And then it turned out that wasn't really a big deal at all. But I get it. We're all kind of concerned about like preservation for the future.
Yeah, being collectors, you want this, I understand.
What I don't understand is why nobody brings this up for phones, like for cell phones and stuff. Like there's no preservation. Like there's zero. Like, you know what I mean? Like this stuff comes and goes, and
we're complaining about Evel Knievel being a phone game. If that drops off the phone, off the mobile app store, how are you accessing it? Through hacking. It's like this is a bridge between an all digital future or a mostly digital future, because I think most of us are mostly digital. A lot of us in this chat and on this panel, we all love our physical. We grew up with it. We like the feelies. We like to look at something in our collection, I think, by and large. Yeah. But most of the public doesn't. I mean, we don't buy DVDs anymore. We don't buy Blu-rays, by and large. Those markets have crashed. We stream our music.
Rise of Skywalker is the only one I own.
Yeah. I mean, it's a digital age, and this is a bridge that gives us the things we like, the ability to trade, the ability to have something and look at something and gift it to somebody, and to have things associated with it, with the ease of just swiping it and it's automatically placed. It's simple.
What is the deal about hack? Everybody's talking about hacking. Like everything gets hacked. Everything. Like I'm sure the Amico will get hacked. Everything gets hacked.
Yeah. It won't take them long to hack it. I mean.
It took them a day on the
we
VTS?
know of that's behind it and how long it's been out. Yeah, it's going to get hacked probably inside of like a day.
Yeah, I mean, if they can hack the iPhone, they can hack anything, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, right.
So
I mean, now look at the what was the TurboGrafx Mini? Was that not able to be hacked for some reason? Because I remember that was a big thing.
Well, they never they prevented any kind of data coming in and out of that USB port, so there's no entryway into it. It's completely closed off. That's the only way you can prevent hacking is if you have no access point. So
build a house with no back doors.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, this is movies are going to be all going to be like this too. I'm guessing. If you buy a movie, is it going to be NFT in the future, or is it already moving that way?
Well, I think it's going to be up to.
I mean, I know they're streaming, but
it'll be up to the individual stores, right? Like, the Google Play Store, the iTunes, whatever. Like, if they don't like the idea of doing it, they're not going to do it. I mean, NFTs aren't like. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes, because I think there's a lot of companies that are going to be resistant to it because they like the idea of you buy it and then they don't have to worry about it again. They don't.
Yep.
So I don't know.
A game is sold when a game is sold, it's sold one time. With the Amico now, or with used games, a game is made and sold. It could be sold 10, 20 times.
Right.
They don't see their cut on that second through 20th resell. So I could see why it's very consumer friendly, and I think Intellivision is not getting enough credit for that. They are giving consumers quite a bit of ownership.
Well, to be frank, the Intellivision is not going to get credit.
Cyrus.
Intellivision is not going to get credit for jack shit until it comes out. Once it's out, then people will start to go, oh, okay, now let's take another look at it. But right now, there's a lot of, just concern and misunderstanding, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a couple of questions here. No Gardi put in, Amico's not meant for gamers who only play physical games, as they're in their minority these days. That I drift in and out of this. Well, I pretty much dug deep at this point into this community where a lot of these guys have, at most they go with like a mister, but for the most part they prefer their physical carts. They spend a lot of time cleaning them, taking care of them. This is what they do. They buy homebrews on carts when they could get it on a ROM. Yeah. And they're the ones that are the most confused by this, to be honest with you. And the reason they're confused is because of what is perceived, and kind of justifiably so, as mixed messaging on the part of Intellivision on who they're marketing this to. Because on one hand, there's a lot of stuff there for the retro crowd, and it's been more heavily marketed towards the retro crowd and YouTubers right now. And they hit mostly a home run with a lot of the retro YouTubers anyway, right? Because tons of them are covering it in one way or another. But then they're saying that's not their market, and then they're doing the physical or boxed media this way. I got to stop thinking physical media was worse than Tommy about it. And catering a lot of their stuff more towards like how you would interface with a phone, right? Or how you'd interface with a tablet or any other more modern device where your store is easy to access. It's easy to download. Things just appear and install within seconds sometimes, right? And then you're up and you're playing the game. So that's more where that confusion, I feel like, comes in, is because they're kind of drifting between two markets, and one's very hardcore. I want a physical product. I want something that's on a card. I want to be able to plug it in, and I want to be able to play it. These games are small enough. You should be able to do this, right? And the more progressive crowd, more modern crowd, that's their
physical media,
could care less about that.
Yeah, but and that's that is an understandable problem. And I mean, unfortunately for Intellivision, they are not cash rich to be able to waste a lot of marketing right now towards what would be for children and families if they're not even interested in it and they don't have anything to sell. That audience is not consuming upcoming video game system news and shows like this or anything in retro gaming or gaming news media. They're just not consuming it. So they'll buy a system, or they'll buy a Switch, they'll buy an Amico, they'll buy a PlayStation 5 when they're ready to go out and buy it. They're not going to watch 100 shows on it and then go and make a purchase decision and go buy it. So it's a waste of their efforts to kind of market it now. So I know there's several things that they are holding back on that they can't share. So the mixed messaging, I get that, but I also I also understand there's a lot that they are not focusing on because those eyes aren't on it, and they would have to spend a lot of money to get those eyes on it, and then they have nothing to give them once those eyes get on it. So it's kind of holding off on it.
Bad timing at this part to start catering towards that market. Yeah, absolutely.
And then as far as like mixed messages was like the ease of like just swiping and tapping, like I said, the alternative is Tommy's talked about a micro SD card, and the system has a micro SD card. This is not consumer friendly for most of the audience to put in and put out, 200 times, 100 times to load a game, to play a game, to every time you buy a $5 game, you swipe it in, or $15, $20 game, whatever. The system is not designed to do that. And that SD card is the system memory for all of your games. So you're going to be uploading a game to your internal memory, which means you have to leave enough room to upload that new game, and then you have to turn around and transfer that to, you plug in your other SD card that has all of your save games, and you have to transfer that. And every time you want to add a new game, a new physical game, you have to take it out of your memory and then add it. It creates a hassle that's probably not worth the effort. So I think some of the retro community is kind of confused, like, why are you doing this, like just this RFD tap and switch that is, you say it's like ease of use for, like, you know, a casual market, someone that uses a phone, that uses a tablet, you just swipe it and you're done and you can play the game. When, you know, we want actual physical media, well, because the system wasn't designed to have that physical media as a means for most of its audience. And they're trying to create something for us that works. Whether or not this is the final solution to that, I don't know, but it's like a good kind of middle road.
The final solution?
I knew as soon as I said that. Yeah.
Anyway.
You know what? I think 1 Inch Bicep is onto something here. We put the RFID into micro machines.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'd love to see physical.
You could do it.
I'd like to see.
There is a. Oh wait, I can't. Wait, never mind. There's something, but we can't talk about it. I forgot.
I was gonna say, like, stuff coming out. I mean, you got like they got the what was it doing? Their gift cards are being manufactured by Topps. Remember, we talked about that. They partner with Topps. So think about you got MLB coming out. Say they do in a year and a half or a year down the line or whenever, you know, MLB comes out, the collector thing in that is maybe a Topps baseball card. Now that's going to be valuable, you know, and then a little Topps coin. What if it's a Garbage Pail Kid or something like that with an Intellivision theme? You know, like this is just, and I think this is also for the collectors, you know, like everybody's going, well, why they do these physicals? Yeah, it's going to be mainly a digital system, but this, like, as a collector, they're catering for the people that just started it up, the people that bought the founders, people that bought the VIPs, the people that are pre-ordering before the main market that they're trying to sell to, you know, is aware of it yet. So I love the fact that they did this, but yeah, it's not going to be perfect because like you guys are saying, we're on that edge of going from physical to digital, like to full digital, and this is kind of that bridge to it. And I think having that collector coin, the collector cards, the little cartridge looking thing, having that box for your shelf, at least it's better than going, well, I bought a download code, you know. It's something. I think it's something cool. I really do.
Well, we had all talked to Tommy about this a while back, and you know, we couldn't really talk about it publicly, but so we've had a little bit more time to process all this kind of stuff. Whoa, that's not good.
Yeah, right. That's
yeah. So I think when Tommy showed us the physical media or physical boxed games, as we should, I guess, call them, when he talked to us about it, you know, he explained to us, like, you know, exactly what you just said, Chuck. He's like, we want to have a physical version of the game, but we want it to be something special that people will be happy to own and look at and enjoy what they get for it. But the system's not designed for cartridges or CDs. It's just not designed for that. So what can we do to cater to that audience? This isn't, like you said, supposed to be the main way you get your games for your Amico. This is like a special extra thing that he's trying to do. You know, the problem that Tommy has is he really does want to do everything. He really does want, he wants it to be as good as it can be, and he wants people to be happy. And so he's thrown out all these really interesting ideas, really unique ideas and solutions to these problems that you would have trying to launch a console like this. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people just don't understand it because it is so unique and there's all these different things that he's doing. I've told the guy, and you guys know that I've told him, I think he's probably done too much at the beginning. You know,
too much, said too much. Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if he can focus on get the console out, let's have those 6-pack-in games. And then, of course, now we've got these boxed games, so we need those. Let's focus on that. Let's not talk about and then we're going to try this, and then there's maybe that, and wouldn't that be something if we did that? Let's just focus on what we're doing, and then we can talk about, like people are saying in the chat, third-party accessories and additional new features, and maybe more of an online presence, and there's other things that can come. But let's get this thing out.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Tommy is a great guy. Like you said, he's very much a people pleaser. I think that comes with the territory of being on like Reviews on the Run and the Electric Playground and running video games live for 20 plus years. He's a crowd pleaser. That's kind of understood. But I think like all of the possible scenarios that they would like to chase, and saying some of that aloud is causing some interference with people that there's some people that are disappointed when those things don't come to fruition, of course, and all game companies make promises and they don't keep them. I mean, go back to every E3, you can look at what Nintendo or Sony or Microsoft were saying, or Konami or Capcom or whoever. They don't fulfill all their promises. That should be understood by all of us, but we still have that disappointment. And I think Tommy has to be very careful about what he's sharing with, even small groups like on Atari Age, or when he's on these YouTube streams with us, sharing what their intentions are. I think he has to know these are concrete, really not planning to change. And then he has to kind of voice those in a way that is like, this is what we'd really like to do. However, we could face some serious setbacks. And he said that in some cases, but I think in a lot of times he's very much optimistic about what they want to do and what they intend to do. And he might state it as something that they plan to do. And if it falls apart, that's points against you. And I think that's happened several times. So there's several people that might be like, oh, there's too many broken promises here. So I understand that. And then there's like bad actors that just want to use everything he says against him. So you have to hold some of that back. You can't put that all on the table. You have to be able to surprise people. And, we don't need to know everything that they're planning to do. We need to know a few of the big things and see those delivered.
Absolutely. Yeah, we gotta get this stuff out that we've been hearing about for, a couple of years now. The focus, the core elements, that needs to be the focus of everything. And I think it is the focus that Tommy and his crew have right now. So yeah.
Mark has a question. It says, when you guys played at Crayola, was it easy to sync the controllers with different consoles, like the example of taking it to your friend's house?
We didn't actually sync it. Tommy was going through and doing a lot of the syncing. Well, we were doing most of the recording.
It didn't seem like he had took him very long to do it.
It took a couple seconds.
I can tell you this. Whenever I was playing up in the living room at John's, we had Shark hooked up over there. Hey, what's up? Where's some Mullage? What's some Mullage doing here?
What's going on, boys?
What's happening, dude?
How dare you interrupt me?
I'm meeting on stream again. It's my thing.
Brad, did you move rooms?
Moved houses, moved homes, moved cities, moved states. I moved mountains. Yeah.
Good.
Wait, I got you until you said mountains.
Okay, let me just finish what I was saying real quick.
All right, sorry.
So, no, that's okay. That's okay. Mullis comes when he wants, and he leaves when he wants. Everything else is fine. I can tell you when we were at John's and we had the Amico hooked up downstairs and we had the other Amico upstairs. There's so many people playing constantly, and we had done all these events and stuff. So some of the controllers' batteries were running a little low because, it was like they've been on for 6 hours, and then here we are at the house and they're not charged yet and stuff like that. So I know there was some switching back and forth of controllers. The process is not complicated. You stick it on the Amico and it syncs to the Amico. It takes, at least in the prototype phase that we enjoyed, it took a few seconds and it synchronized. So when the final release retail version happens, I'm sure it'll be even simpler than that. It's not something you should worry about.
Yeah, and someone was saying, and I know I was trying to keep up because there's a million people asking questions, but someone was saying a little bit ago about, that with all the gaming console fails and, a million things that have coming out, do you think Amico would be successful? I sure say I'm going to say this. I'm sure they're sure proving at some of the worst time to come out with a gaming console. They have progressed very well. Whatever the critics want to say, I think they're doing very well for what's happened over the past. Well, now we're going on 2 years of a lot of this. I don't want to say the word because YouTube hates that, but what's happened. And I don't know. I think now we got the shipping containers sitting. There's lots of manufacturing issues now. I think they're going to try their best. I think it will be successful, but I think it's going to be very slow. It's going to be a very slow release. But I think once people get this in their hands and play it, they're gonna freaking love it. Especially, they're gonna love it.
Yeah, they have a lot of headwind, and I think some of what they hoped to accomplish with the retro community hasn't panned out as well as they wanted. I think the combativeness and storylines that have kind of developed they were not expecting, and of course you don't expect a pandemic like this to kind of slow you up. It's screwed over just about every smaller system that has tried to launch within the past couple of years, with a couple of exceptions. Evercade was able to get out at the beginning of the pandemic last year, but most other smaller systems have, emailed we've got a delay, we've got a delay, we've got a delay. And this is not the first time. The Retron 5 was delayed. Ouya was delayed for a month. Nintendo
The Versus has been delayed.
Yeah,
Yep.
Nintendo 64 was delayed. The GameCube was delayed. Super Nintendo was delayed probably about a year because they were demoing that in '88, and that didn't launch until the end of '90 in Japan. 91 here in North America, but the end of '90 in Japan. So I mean, there's the PlayStation 3. I think was a year delayed, and PlayStation 2 was several months delayed. All of these systems. It's hard enough to get out a console under normal circumstances. Intellivision doesn't have the money like some of the big players have, but they are probably the best funded smaller player that we've ever seen. I think they have more money going into this, at least that they've been able to build up so far than Ouya had in building up to get that system out. And definitely more than the VCS or Evercade had in getting out their system. So they do have quite a bit of resources, but it's hard as hell to get over this hump.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's
I
think that's part of people's criticism is they've got so much going on and there's so much with the console, with the RFID cards, the controllers being as complicated as they are. That
What?
I think a lot of people who feel like that they've kind of overreached where they probably should have, and they could have launched it had they had more. I guess to put it in a way that might make Tommy a little more reasonable expectations, I guess, is the best way to put it, right? I like that they're swinging for the fences with it personally, but if they didn't put, say, the touch screen on there or a screen at all on there, those controllers would have been much cheaper to manufacture. Would they have been as fun? Probably not, right?
Well, and that's the thing. You'd have a different product.
You would absolutely have a totally different product.
Would you without having touch screens, without that appeal to what you can do to the casual audience, do you have any appeal to investors? Because there's a big reason why they've been able to get so much investor backing with this messaging. I mean, this messaging does resonate. So, you could take off touch screens. You could put in just one controller and not make it a co-op machine, but you're really making a different system. I think George, Bob from George Games was talking about this last week. It's not, the system is what it is, and the timing could not be worse for what it's kind of facing. But if they can survive, they have a good chance to be a good little niche for a little, the next couple of years at least.
I think it could grow beyond niche, but it's definitely going to be niche for the first couple of years. Mostly because there's going to be a lot of, it's kind of like, and I hate to use the Wii as an example because once a lot of people got their hands on the Wii, some people loved it. Most of the core gaming crowd didn't. A lot of the casual crowd did. But to use the Wii as an example because it was kind of a little bit of an inspiration to Tommy of that kind of co-op play and bringing people back into the living room together. Most people didn't get that system either until they got their hands on it. It was one of those systems that people had to play And more often than not, they had to play with somebody else in order for it to really kind of click and make a lot of sense of the actual potential behind that little box, even though it wasn't much more powerful than, I want to say, a GameCube, right?
It was a rehash
So-
of the GameCube.
Yeah, basically. So, I mean, from that standpoint, the system itself, I think, will eventually find a growing market once they can get enough stock of them out there to be able to supply demand, and once people start getting their hands on it and playing it, particularly playing it in groups,
Yeah.
it'll start to kind of click for people.
Yeah. The problem
agree
is,
with
even if they had the demand, even if they had 10 million pre-orders, even if they had 10 million pre-orders paid up front, they don't have the capital to kind of build up to that, to kind of meet that demand.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Right.
even if I believe this system is going to be a lot bigger than a lot of the rest of YouTube is crediting it as going to be, they will have to grow into that next phase of being a bigger system. They're not going to be able to do it in year 1 or year 2.
I like this question. I think we should address this one.
I like it.
My short answer, yes. My longer answer is I'm constantly worried about any new startup that's pre-production and is having delays, like any startup, because you have no revenue and you have a whole lot of debt, you have a whole lot of people that need to be paid, and you don't have a product. So yes, that's always a concern. Absolutely.
I share that. Go ahead,
Agreed.
Cyrus. Go ahead,
No,
Cyrus.
I'm just gonna say I think it's gonna come out in 2022, and I think it's gonna be a small, like you were talking about, Reb. It's gonna be a build up. They're gonna do an initial small release probably, and then it'll be like trying to build up to fulfill larger orders and things like that. But it's all contingent upon what happens in the marketplace as far as you think we have a part shortage now? Wait until the reserves of Apple and Samsung are depleted and they're out in the open market sucking everything up.
Yeah.
Because if things continue to devolve into that, we're going to have major problems in the electronics field. Like
Every facet of electronics. I'm talking cameras, phones, calculators for schools, everything.
Yeah, see, a lot of people don't know that these big companies had stockpiled
Yep.
their electronic components.
Yep.
Money,
And now
money,
they're
money.
running out. And
And they also
Yeah.
don't understand that consumer electronics, the parts that they see, that they interface with, is not the larger majority of that electronics market. I mean, the whole industrial side, the whole service sector, health services, educational services, just the amount of electronics and gadgets and stuff that are being bought and sold for companies by companies, like far outpaces consumer electronics. And they have demands. They all need screens. They all need, point of sale machines to at your restaurants. They all need, inventory machines. They all need screens. They all need chips. They all need these minute parts that you don't even think about, and we are kind of at this perfect storm of we did not kind of, we don't have the backup, we don't have the bandwidth and the what's the word?
Balls.
We don't have the capacity. We don't have the we don't have the balls.
We don't have the balls to do
balls.
this.
Hey, got
We
the
don't-
balls.
We don't have the backup capacity for something that happened like this. And now that everything is out of sorts, we don't know what the result is going to look like. When things sort of come back to normal in 2022 or 2023, we don't know what that's going to look like. Who's going to still be in the game? Who's going to be purchasing like mad because they got all of the money? They've made so much profit that they're just going to like insure themselves for the next 10 years of survivability. We don't know.
I've got an idea. So, and if we want the Amico to come out, we should just encourage Tommy to release it with no electronics in it.
Gerbil power.
And then over
It's
time,
environmentally friendly and biodegradable.
over time, he sends us the CPU, and then he sends us.
It's like
The-
those bottle kits. Like
Yeah,
that
we got
one that you
It's like a really extreme layaway plan where you get like one part after part when you pay it. El Novo's question of how do you feel the chance
Well-
that the console will never see the light of day?
Well, wait a minute. What about?
Okay, go
I mean,
ahead.
there's
El Novo's question's been out there for like forever. We just went past it.
Yeah, go ahead. Answer.
Which
Well, I
question?
know, but I thought we were all answering the worried about Intellivision running out of money question.
I was talking about balls.
This is sort of along. It's sort of along the same vein.
Holy
I mean,
bocce balls.
I mean, there's a potential
My
in
bad.
any new launch or any new product that you're trying to start out that it never actually makes it to the light of day. There's all sorts of products that you never hear anything about that try to make it out the door and fail because of lack of capital. So is that a possibility? Yes. Do I think it's going to happen? I think the chances are low. I think Tommy's a stand-up enough guy. He's trying to sell this thing. And he's doing anything and everything in his power to get it out to people. And I think Tommy's a good guy. And I believe that Tommy's going to do everything he can to get this product out. And I think he'll get it out. So is there a possibility? Always. Do I think it's a slim one that it won't come out? Yeah.
Yeah, I think very slim. I think I've talked before, but I mean, there's the possibility of painful cuts. I mean, Intellivision is a vibrant company, but it has a lot of money backing this system coming out. So the fact that all this money is poured in and nothing comes out to see like if this is even a viable premise, I think is kind of a very low probability. I mean, Intellivision has, companies have things at their disposal that they can do. They have extra offices that they don't have to have. Of course, if they close an office, they close that Salt Lake City office. Okay, so you've saved like you don't have 10 people employed there, but you're saving money in the long run with having that office because your cost of living is lower, your cost of employees are lower. There's functions that you can do. It's smart to have that office.
They're warehousing.
Kind of cut their nose to spite their face to get the thing out. There's painful things they could do if they had to do, but I don't think anyone wants them to have to deal with them.
Well, want to and have to, are always two different things, and it would suck.
Yeah.
But
we got to get Tommy to move to Texas. That'll solve everything. Move to Texas.
You
Come
just
on.
want to go into the office and play Amico all day.
No, I know.
Hey.
It's time to move the conversation to sweaty balls.
We have really good business incentives in Texas. That's all I'm saying.
And that's I think that's where they might be able to manufacture the thing. I mean,
I've heard something like that. Yeah.
I have resigned myself to the fact that I think the earliest we're going to see the console is spring of 22. I mean, I've just resigned myself to it. If somehow Tommy gets the Founders Editions out by the end of the year, it'll be a very nice surprise. I'm having trouble seeing it at this point, for a number of reasons, and but I've said this before.
God bless Texas. Sorry.
My grandparents from Texarkana. I've been.
All right.
I think he's got to do whatever he has to do, crawl over broken glass, blah 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 blah, to get these out. And if he could somehow miracle this thing, out to as many people as possible over the holiday season.
Yeah.
I think that's what draws. There may be some hesitancy among investors. Is some of the negative stuff probably maybe, but I think what's affecting them more is investors might be, and I'm not saying I know anything, and I'm just speculating. They might be having a hard time investing in a product that they haven't seen come out yet. Now, I'm encouraged by the fact that he's continuing to go out and show the console. He's getting people to put their hands on it. And, Nick, you made a really good point in a chat the other day that, we were talking about the physical, the box editions, as he calls it. You're not selling those if you're not intent on getting the console out to play it with. Collectors aside, right? So if he's selling them, he's got to have some sort of plan. I just it would I it's tough because he's got it. I think if he gets first, I think getting this thing out the door to the first 2,600 people
that would be
solves. I think it solves a lot of problems.
Him selling those, going ahead and selling the box media the way he did, is twofold. One, it gives him some revenue, which is great, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Two, it kind of solidifies his and the team's commitment, because Tommy's one of those people that when he commits to something, he's putting his reputation out there, and people are putting their faith in him. And one of the things that would drive Tommy personally insane, from knowing the man as long as I have, is to fail to deliver on something that he promised to people and failing those people. That would drive him absolutely insane. And that's why I'm more than confident that I think this thing will see the light of day. It may not be in the numbers that we want initially. How far it goes, God only knows. That's up to the market to decide. I've said that from day one. The people on this channel, the people in this panel, the people in the chat, the people on YouTube do not decide if products like this succeed.
Yep.
The general public does.
Yep.
They have to adopt it. And YouTube does not make up the mass of the general public.
Right.
No, and that's
not even close.
No, it really doesn't. And for all the negativity on YouTube, that hits a market that he's not going after. Would he like to have all the retro market? Of course he would. That's why he's come to us first. But he's not his
closest to heart.
Right. His market has no idea about this thing right now. And that's shielding him as much. People might say, well, that's hurting him. I think it's shielding him at the moment. But a product to get out to the mainstream, and any game system, does this, including, look at the Playdate, the Analog Pocket, the Polymega, all of these other systems, the Evercade, they have to sell to what they call the hardcore first, right? And that's why, if you notice why when we talk about like the Switch, well, not Nintendo per se, but look at Microsoft and Sony. They sell their consoles out of the gate at a really high price. Why? They want to get the hardcore market. That's their beginner. And then they start bringing the price down to hit the mass market. But they've got to get saturation in their primary market first. To get out these 2,600 machines and get them into the hands of the people who can, like all of us, who can start showing it to other people, start streaming it on our channels, start getting the positive message out that can't be shut up, because there's now, the thing about the negativity is right now, the only thing that can combat the negativity are these videos that Intellivision puts out of people playing it at a small event. Great. That's not enough. To combat negativity, you've got to have this thing in people's hands where the people playing it are going, oh my God, this thing is awesome. You can't combat that. You can't take that and go, well, no, it's not. Well, sorry, man. I've got it in my hands. You're wrong.
Yeah, you can only say these people are paid so much before, after so many events, before people are going, really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's like, I think people just pick and choose. It's like any other news, like political news or Hollywood news or whatever. People just pick and choose what they want to hear, and they really just ignore anything that doesn't fit that, because there's been a lot of different events, from the museum to the Pennsylvania thing, which, by the way, it wasn't just Crayola. There was also the banquet where all the kids were playing it.
Yep.
And then there was all of us with all of everybody that we knew playing it at John's. Then there was the Boomers thing, and then there was the Utah thing, and then there's going to be a Boston thing. I mean, there's so many opportunities that people have had and continue to have to be able to play it. And to be frank, if you're in the California area and you're an influencer or a YouTuber, I'm pretty sure that Tommy has at some point offered for you to come check it out. So the opportunities have been there and continue to be there for people to come check it out for themselves. So for this argument that people keep trying to perpetuate, that they say, oh, well, these are all shills and paid people and they can't be trusted and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, what about these little kids? Are you telling me that the little kids that are playing this, that are all over the place, footage of them, they don't even know they're being filmed. There's people just filming them play, like what went on at the banquet and stuff like that. And that footage is out there. You can look at it.
Yeah.
Cyrus, child actors, man.
Oh, they're crisis actors.
Crisis
actors they've been brought in to try to perpetuate this disinformation campaign. Yeah, I forgot.
The William Morris agency can get you kids for anything you want.
That's right.
And I want to talk about this hardcore crowd for a second.
Intellivision might be cash strapped. What about like an Oompa Loompa?
They have fans, man. They're gonna wear a T-shirt.
I want to talk about this hardcore crowd for a second, because this gets thrown around a lot, and maybe the chat or you guys can correct me on my definition of hardcore. A hardcore gamer wants to own pretty much everything. They'll try any kind of game at least once. Yeah. They're a fan of pretty much every console.
Who you been talking to?
No,
they're fans of just games. So the hardcore crowd, even the ones that I think that aren't really keen on this right now, kind of want to play it. They're going into it maybe with a large amount of skepticism and going, oh, I don't think I'm going to like this from what I'm seeing. They still want to play it. All the ones that I know that are hardcore gamers, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
At least that's my feeling as far as a hardcore gamer. Now, if you just play Sony or you just play Xbox, or you only play Nintendo, then you're not a hardcore gamer, okay?
Whoa!
And I say that coming from like PC Master Raceland here. I usually own most of the consoles. I own multiple handhelds. I play tons of retro games. I play tons of PC games. You are not a hardcore gamer if you start excluding tons of the gaming landscape from yourself. I'm sorry.
But most of them do, because most hardcore gamers have a negative perception of mobile games, and mobile games make up about 80% of every game that's ever been produced out there. So
and I'll admit to having phased out a lot of mobile gaming just because I can't seem to find any of them recently that I enjoy. I played a number of them in the past, but the ones that I tend to gravitate to, they all start to feel the same after a while, and I started phasing out of that particular.
Let me just say,
and I haven't found something else to replace that for me.
Let me say something, Nick, in response to what you said. Let me just throw this out there. You can tell me what your thoughts are. Like, I think that it's possible that somebody could be very hardcore about a specific platform and maybe not care about other platforms. Like, somebody could be really into Nintendo and just buy all the Nintendo, everything Nintendo, all, whatever Nintendo, boxes and boxes full of amiibos and Mario.
You're basically describing me, but
my point being, when you say hardcore gamer, I think that's one of those, like, it's a term that I guess people interpret differently. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I because there's other reasons for not being able to have those like money,
Well, I understand that, and sometimes you have to pick and choose, but that doesn't mean you don't want to play them and you don't want to try them.
But that
just because you lean towards one console or that's the one you can afford at the time, doesn't mean you wouldn't like to have the others. You wouldn't like to play the others. Everybody has their own finances, and they have to allocate those to the one that they think will bring them the most enjoyment. I'm not saying if you don't own like all these consoles that you're not a hardcore gamer. I'm saying you would like to play and own all of them if you could. And I think most full hardcore gamers would, even though they have a focus because they have one console or one company that tends to deliver them more reliably the types of games that they want to play. So that's always the one they gravitate to first. And that makes total sense.
Except the Switch, because I don't do rooftop parties. But
whoa,
sorry,
hot takes.
We're gonna throw hands, Mike.
Mike Mullis, hot takes.
That's all right, man. John's
missing out, brother.
John's had me working out, so I'm good. I don't
Yeah,
do this,
yeah,
I don't
you
do
got some
Switch.
more working out to do, son. You get back in the gym.
Oh, yeah? All right. Yeah, that's why you're all the way over on the other side of the country.
Oh, let's calm down. Let's calm down.
Yeah, that's all right.
Breathe.
I can't help it. You can't handle it a mile high up, son.
I'll bring you down to where I'm at. Don't worry.
I don't, is there a mile high up?
I feel like I'm in the middle of something
That's
here.
all right.
There is,
Oh, no,
but it's
it's
just called a bedroom in Colorado.
Or a plane. All right. So look, I've never been a big Switch guy. Now GameCube and N64, all in. But
I think what we can agree is that there are different ways of interpreting this concept of the hardcore gamer, right? That's kind of, because I get what you're saying, Nick. Like, a hardcore gamer should be interested in video games in general. Like, should be like, look, I want to experience everything and as much as I can and all this kind of stuff. But to be fair, there's a lot of hardcore-ish, I guess, people that would consider themselves hardcore gamers that are absolutely against some platforms. You know, they're like
A lot
hard
of flavors.
Yeah, there's people of every ilk in this giant tent that we're all in. You know, I don't even know why what are we talking about, really?
I don't know.
Why were you even?
Talk about digging into the.
We were
like,
talking about
rails
sweaty
and
balls.
really
And
missing.
now we're talking about hardcore.
Were we talking about
Well,
balls earlier?
yeah. So
Yes.
I think what I said
Topic.
is that most of the time the you start with the hardcore and then you bring down to the mainstream gamer. And I think Intellivision wants to do that. That's why they sold a Founders Edition and why they sold it online and why they sold it to more or less to us. And I still think it's true. We need to get our consoles. We need to be out there playing it. We need to be out there talking about it. Because I'll tell you what, I have 5 or 6 friends that are my age that don't go on YouTube, that don't go on Twitter, that they'll play Xbox with me, but they're but they all are, because they're my age, they played on these consoles when we were all the same age. So they're interested in the Amico because they're interested in Intellivision, but they have nothing to go on right now because they don't go on YouTube and they don't see what we
You're not
see.
seeing this playground of just either complete toxicity or
us. Right, or us,
or supporters. Right. And can you imagine being an investor seeing the crap that's all over YouTube? Like, that's what you don't want to look at. Like, look up your facts and look up how what they've done. Look at the actual. And I'm sorry to jump in here real quick, and I'll be
no, it's not your show.
But you're right. I'm so sorry.
It's totally not your show or anything.
Now I'm out of the guild. No, but I was nice hat. I was jumping in because, like, they always talk about, like, people are always can be critical. Yeah, unless you touch it or play it. When have you seen a critic even try to go to an event or try to? And the ones I have, and I wouldn't call them like super crazy, insane critics, but I love the hats, guys. And but I'm saying, anyone that's even went and been a slight critic went, you know what? Maybe the worst I've heard is maybe this isn't for me, but that sure is built nice, and it is what they said it is. And there's no lag, and there's no this, and there's no this. So all those were just rumors and misinformation, but that's the worst. So, like, I'd love to see one of these hardcore critics that just hate, just go and try and play it and at least be honest and go, you know what? Hey, maybe it's not for me, or maybe it is now. But just admit that it's a fun system, it exists, and it plays well, and it's just fun, man. I was looking at the trailer, and I'm sorry, I'll babble one more second.
No, please.
I was looking at just watching the opening trailer. You know, it's obviously from the Amico E3 or their presentation, but I'm like, dude, I can't wait to sit down and just chill and relax and play like an hour's worth of Breakout and see how far I can get, or get into Astro Smash and try to how many boss battles I can get into. You know, I'm looking forward to the games because they're fun. Okay, babbling over.
No, that was awesome, and I want to piggyback on what you said. I would rather they just shut up and talk about something else. If they're not interested,
You don't like it.
go
stop
talk
talking.
about something else. Go do
Yeah,
something
but you
else.
you
That's
know
not
what?
going to happen.
Yeah, you
That's
No, it's
not
not.
the way.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying that's what should
It
happen.
doesn't. It doesn't.
And
It's,
they have
you know.
every right to talk their piece about it, as much as we have our right to talk our piece about it. So I mean,
well, the
Yeah.
thing is, it's not
But-
like it's not like we don't criticize it. We have plenty of criticisms. You know,
Okay,
people.
but we're not obsessed with things that we don't know, B, haven't touched. I mean, everyone in this room, per se, has laid hands on the console,
Ooh,
right? Every
yes.
one of us, every single one of us, from
Allegedly.
well, I mean,
Allegedly.
I didn't do my Amico prayers over it like you guys did, but
Well,
yeah,
true.
I guess.
But you guys have, my kids have. To me,
My pointer finger, not my middle.
to me, and I'm just going to say this outright: the authoritative voices for the Amico right now should be us.
I agree.
Not me. I have no authority at all.
Already.
Well, until you get drunk, Cyrus. And then,
Oh yeah,
No,
yeah. You're right.
No, the authoritative voices on the Amico is unfortunately Intellivision.
Well,
They
no,
know
right,
they know
right,
more
right,
than
right.
anybody
No,
about
you're
what
right.
is in store, about what the system, how complete every game is. I mean, they know. Now the fact that the critics don't believe anything Intellivision is saying is unfortunate, because you don't have any authority. You have a rumor mill that wants to kind of grasp onto everything. And it's interesting because, like you were saying, you hear criticism coming from, this panel. Maybe you don't hear a lot of criticism. I'll take that, because we're enthusiastic. And we're also, I think, a little forgiving. Like we want this to come out. We understand they're running into some issues.
Video games.
We can be patient. It's a video game. We're looking forward to it. We can forgive some mistakes to see the end product. I don't think you necessarily get that level of at least I don't perceive that level of understanding, or that level of, this is not perfect. It doesn't have to be. Here's the things I can live with. Here's the things that really upset me, and I want to see how they're going to correct those. I don't tend to hear that perspective from, and I don't watch a lot of critics' videos anymore. I kind of tuned out after they kind of went a little into the deep end, but I still watch a few. There's plenty of people who are very sane, very rational, give good takes, even though they are not interested in the Amico.
Not being cruel.
Yeah, but you do have a lot of people that are lodging a lot of insults and abuse, and they don't have anything of interest that interests them in the console. And I'm kind of curious then why they're following it, except for the interest around the train wreck, the interest around that this is going to be the worst disaster the world has ever seen. So I want to log in 5 times a day to see what's updated on it. I'm kind of interested, like, from their perspective, is there something about the console that they are actually looking forward to that kind of had them hooked and they want to see more of? Some of them talk a little bit about that, but you don't really tend to see that kind of come out. So you get kind of a one-sided perspective. I
think from that side, you're seeing people watch it more like the reason that people watch celebrity news. You don't watch celebrity news because you're curious about who so and so is dating. You want to see the meltdown, right?
You're right.
You want to see those meltdowns. You want to see, like, the people breaking up. You want to hear all this crazy stuff they did, or the stupid way they spent money in Vegas, or whatever. That's what you tune in for. And I feel like, at least in a lot of that aspect, that's part of what's drawn some people to it, is that aspect. And then there's the people that legitimately have major concerns with it and don't like it, and maybe don't like Tommy. And then there's people like us that are more optimistic with it, and perhaps, and I'll go on record saying, maybe a little overly generous with being forgiving on it, because we have confidence enough in the company and the people that are behind it that we're willing to just ignore those things and wait patiently.
You're right, Nick.
My line in the sand is 27 delays, just for the record.
Yeah, Nick, you're right about us. You're right about us being maybe a little too forgiving, and I'm going to say this: we might be a little too sensitive too. We really might.
Absolutely. I mean, anytime you get this invested with the people, with somebody who's in a company and the people that are working on it, you're going to want to kind of defend those people because you consider those people friends, right?
Yeah, I fully admit I've overreacted to shit. Absolutely.
And I try hard not to overreact. I can't say that I always succeed at it, but I try hard not to overreact on stuff like this. If somebody's got criticism and they're approaching it in a civil enough manner, then that's fine. It's
Correct.
end of the day, it's a video game console and it's your money.
Yeah.
And
no one's saving anybody.
If for whatever reason you don't feel it's worth it or you feel nervous about it, then you have every right to hold off on purchasing anything on it, just like I would if I were nervous about a product. I absolutely would hold off spending my money.
See, I don't think any of us have a problem with criticism. What we have a problem with is like people that are like being unreasonable, that are trying to paint something for some whatever reason. I don't know what the reason is, but Jan, you got a great point. Like there's so many people that have had that opportunity and they just don't want to do it.
They'd rather do the drama.
Maybe because I'm an adult and a dad with 3 kids that have more things to do in my life than to worry about it. But I'm going to continue to be the guy that does not care what anybody else thinks of it. I mean, and I know Nogar is trying to tell me otherwise, but Nogar, I don't care what your criticism is. If you're criticizing it, I don't care. I've played it. I know what it. Hold on, let me finish. I know what it's like. I know what it is. My son knows what it is. It's as everybody else says, it's our money.
Yeah.
So your criticism basically goes over white noise because I don't care and I don't know why we care. That's the thing. I don't know why we care.
Well,
let them, do the whatever. It's a video game console. You don't like it, then go get one that you do. Get and concentrate on that and be positive about that. This white noise just it's like gnats. It's like little gnats just flying about going, I don't like the Amico.
I
don't like it. You don't like
it.
It's just outright stupid. And I don't get it. I don't get it, and I'll never get it. And there's nothing
Mike, I understand what you're
say.
saying, but the phrasing, Nogar has a point that
other news
that you don't necessarily have to get to have critiques of it. But to your point, like you have already had that experience, so you have a tactile, real experience playing the system. You have so much from that experience. You understand what that relationship is with that system and how it plays and how you feel about it. And others' criticisms don't necessarily weigh in based on what you've experienced. So that doesn't matter to you.
But
I think you do have to be careful about.
That doesn't mean
I don't have. That's
you
just
and ask
it.
a question about it that you don't answer it though. You know what
I
mean?
Have to. That's just it. I don't have to be careful about it because I don't give a shit. I really don't. I want the system. I like the system. If you don't like the system, don't like the system. But to keep,
I don't think anybody in chat tonight has said that they straight up don't like the system. They said they have concerns.
Everybody's got different opinions on it. I think it's sometimes that could get.
I'm not even saying this guy. I'm not even saying that Nogar is criticizing it. What I'm saying is that if your position is I don't have to play it to criticize it, okay, it's all you. That's but go away. Go do it somewhere else.
All right. So what Mullis is getting at
I don't have to live in Soviet Russia to have some criticisms about Soviet Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, the other onlookers can have like opinions and stuff, but I don't think like that doesn't have to phase you. I'm more careful with stuff like that because I just don't want to kind of antagonize people who are trying to engage in the conversation.
Let me support
if I may point
Mullis.
down to Nokar's comments, he's more than an onlooker. He's bought a Founders Edition and he's bought the APAC.
Okay.
So he's dumped money into the system to pre-order it. So,
I never said anything about him criticizing it, which is what he is taking this as. I said if he was, and he said he made a statement that said, I don't need to play it to criticize it. That's not the same as I pre-ordered one, bought it. Great. I hope he enjoys it. But the criticism doesn't mean anything to me. Like, and not just him. Nobody's criticism really means anything to me.
Right.
What matters to me is how I feel about it and how my money affects it. Because in the end, nobody is buying my Amico for me. If somebody else bought my Amico for me, their opinion would be totally valid. But we spend so much time, and we're doing it now. We spend so much time on, well, why are people criticizing it? Why are people not? But who? And we care about it.
You just want to play it when it comes out. You
I just want to play it. I just want to enjoy it. I just want to have the, I got the games coming. I am enjoying.
Okay,
what I am.
Let me jump in. I've been trying to jump in for a second here because I want to defend Mullis, but I also want to explain.
Please do, because I've just pissed in the pool. So
well, Mullis
come on in.
Mullis has a very valid outlook on this because he's right. He's a consumer who's interested in a product. He's not here to be a journalist. He's not here to be objective. He's not here to listen to all sides and to get all takes. He's a guy who likes a thing, is interested in a thing, and is just trying to share that. But I will say that there are some people out there who want to have a conversation and have concerns and want to bring up their criticisms. And there are some of us who are having that conversation because we think it's important to address some of that stuff in a reasonable way when it's brought to us in a reasonable way, because we want to have that conversation. Now, does that mean that we're supposed to all have that conversation? No. But that means, like, DJC's got a way of handling that stuff. Nick, you've got a way of engaging with people over that stuff. Rab, obviously you have your take on things and your mindset of how you deal with criticism and critics and things like that. But Mike has his way too. And I have mine. And none of us are wrong, you know? And also I will add that we have all put up with an enormous amount of what you just
love
called
and support.
we have all put up with that white noise that Mullis is talking about for a long time. And I do not begrudge anybody for just saying, look, I'm not listening to this anymore. I've listened to it before. I know where this goes. I really just want to talk about what I'm interested in. So I'm not going to tell Mullis that he's wrong. He's got his take on this, you know, and that's all I wanted to say.
Well, and I agree with your points. And I think part of the reason that people come in here and they ask questions like that is because you have 5 different people with 5 different approaches on it. So it's good to get the take from 5 different people. They're on the side of the fence of this thing when you might be legitimately a little bit on the fence, right? Or have what you feel is a valid concern. And so having that conversation, I feel like is healthy in any discussion to have these kinds of conversations. It doesn't mean that you have to, like, nobody here, I'm not taking any of this personally. I mean, if you've got concerns on the thing, fine, let's talk about it. That's fine. You want to talk about it? We'll talk about it all day. I don't care. That's fine. Where I start drawing the line is when people start throwing like direct insults and stuff like that. That kind of stuff's not okay. Let's keep it to the topic. Let's keep it to what you want to talk about. And let's not make it personal about anybody.
Yeah,
let's not take it personally. And let's just hash it out. It's fine.
We don't need to label each other either. I see, like, we're having disagreements in the chat. That's okay. That's what chats are all about, right? We all have our opinion and we're expressing that. But we don't have to get into you're this person or you're that person. Let's just have conversation, right? Otherwise, what are we doing? We're just going to yell at each other? I mean,
right. Right. And that's not the face that I want to put towards anybody on my channel, on this channel, on any channel. And it's not the one that we should be putting forward on a family-friendly console like this.
Yeah.
Right? So you address concerns in a rational and tempered manner as you can. Everybody's human.
Guys, in the chat, can you just cut Mullis a break is all I'm saying. Come on, guys.
It's okay. What happens is people pop in on a conversation, don't know what the conversation really is about, don't know the person that they're talking about, and just start popping out. Honestly, it's all right. The chat can be the chat. I know where I stand on this. And that's just the way it is. And maybe some of that is I'm too old for this shit. You know, it's like, all I want to do is just get the system in play. That's my, for the funniest thing is my biggest criticism is the damn thing isn't out yet.
Yeah,
So,
I think that's all of our biggest criticisms. We'd all like to have it out.
That
way we can be talking about what's coming out on it now.
I think that's
what do we like about it now? What was your high score versus my high score? When can we set up like another stream where we can compete with each other or whatever? I'd rather be having that conversation right now than the conversation.
That's what I want, right? And we can't because the system's not out yet, and that's something that is a problem. I mean, I think I said it earlier. He's got to get this thing out the door.
By the way, that's Tommy's biggest criticism is he doesn't have it out yet. So it's not like he's not aware. Oh, it's a problem. I didn't
right.
Right. Oh, okay.
I don't. I mean, it's this thing out. Yeah,
it's unfortunate that a lot of the conversation has kind of turned to the system's not ready, the games aren't ready because we're at this point, and you're like a year later, like Intellivision is bleeding money. They are not like, oh my God, we have, we're in this situation and we don't have a system and we're not ready to go, and because we aren't ready to put it out yet. They are where they are because of a lot of external factors, some internal factors as well, but mostly external factors. But I think nobody wants to get this system out more than Intellivision. I mean, if anything is going to change the conversation around the system, it's the system.
Right.
Yeah. And that's it. And like, once again, it's all about something fun that we like. If someone doesn't like it, you don't have to buy it. You don't have to pre-order it. You can get your money back. If you did pre-order it, you're not going to save me from buying a scam. It's not a scam. The product exists. I don't know how else.
Right. We've
we've
laid hands.
Well, and heated, but let's all just take a breath, because I think there's passions on both sides, and there's even criticisms on people that obviously ordered it. It's not like
passions on both sides this fall.
Both sides.
Well, and some people may be generally coming in here
like a Danielle Steele novel.
This is their first experience with everything, right? So it's important to allow people to ask these questions and for us just to answer them, because this might be the first time that they found anything else about it. They heard about it, and then they saw this Amico Forever podcast, and are like, oh, well, these guys might know some stuff. Well, let's go in here and ask some questions. Well, fine, let's answer the questions.
Yeah, well, I'm waiting for the actual question.
The question is, what's the link?
It's in the Discord, John.
I was gonna say,
look at the Discord.
In there. It's
like what was so.
How many
so
can we fit in on yours?
I missed the actual question. You know that. So,
what question?
Yeah, exactly. It turned into what
I feel like we were just as guilty of going there as anybody else, man. So let's just move on.
You also disown your friend and today never existed.
Yeah, there's frustrations. We all have frustrations.
There is, and
what are you gonna do, right? What are we gonna do?
We're gonna talk about the Amico.
Yeah.
Woo! All right, so Jan asked a question of me. Mullis, are your kids a fan of the box edition, or do they only care about playing the actual games? So I actually showed Seth the boxes, and him and I he the first thing he said to me was, "Are we gonna do a video when they come in?" That's my boy. So I think he cares about playing the actual games. The boxes will be cool, but to him, I think he wants to play it. He played it. He played Astro Smash. He played Shark. He got the taste, and he was, like me, he was expecting it to come out and.
You know what? I need to say
he
something.
lit up almost more than anybody else playing it.
I need to tell you guys something. So I've been playing my Intellivision flashback console, and there's Shark on there, which I didn't even realize was on there. And I finally understand that damn game. Like, I'd never understood that game. Even when I played it on the Amico, I was like, I don't know how you play this freaking game. And now I'm like, okay, now I'm good. Now I want to play it on.
Smaller fish, avoid bigger fish, hit the shark in the tail.
I couldn't figure it out. It's too complicated for me.
What do I do with the jellyfish?
OEB Pete says, to quote the immortal Panda Sub 2000, It is just a hunk of plastic. It's not curing male pattern baldness or anything serious like that. Just saying. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I didn't see.
Man, I was counting on
What's
that.
up, dude? Sorry. The
No, I
was
literally,
just below. didn't see you
I just
There he
got here,
is.
dude. It's cool. It's cool. So what's
John.
going on, guys?
What
How's
is
it
What
going?
is happening, man?
Mike, what are you doing, man? You're making me take out the trash. Come on.
Apparently, I'm just a shitty human being,
Yeah.
John.
Oh my
Well,
god!
here's
I'll be right back.
You know what? Here's the thing.
See?
Oh,
There goes-
I'll be back. Bye.
I'll be back. There goes Rab.
Well, here's the thing with that. It's you always know who the new people are coming into these in the comments or wherever.
Yeah,
because we've literally had arguments about things and we've been very critical. Many of us have been very critical. So when I see it, it's like, oh, you're not critical. I'm like, whatever. You haven't been following me. You haven't been following us for a while. So don't give me any of that. I was so critical at one point, I pissed a few people off. So don't give me any of that nonsense.
We all
Hey,
We
I
all
will.
do.
I will verify that
I
John.
can.
No way.
John pissed off Tommy.
And we have the video.
We all look. Hey, we all upset him one night. We all know that.
Yeah.
We all know that. But maybe people are just not understanding. I'm not saying you can't have a criticism of the system, right? I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that it's not for me to judge your criticism. So I really don't, when I say I don't care about it, I'm not saying you suck, you go, I don't care about you, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that go be critical. That's fine. Go be critical. But if you're coming in just trying to stir it up because you want everybody else to be critical, I don't have time for it anymore.
Yeah.
I want to play the system.
What you're saying is you're not trying to attack them personally. You're just saying you don't care about anyone's opinion. You have your own. You just want to play the system. You don't really care about
Yes.
that.
He's in a
Thank you.
different place. He's zen. He knows what he likes.
Well,
It's nothing is
right.
phasing that.
Both Cyrus and Mullis nailed it. Cyrus in saying, number one, most of us are just tired of it. We just have tuned it out at this point. And Mullis, you made a good point in saying, like, and I make this clear on my channel. I'm not a journalist. I'm a fan of video games. Don't expect to come to my channel and I'm going to be 100% objective all of the time because I look at the Amico strictly as a fan. That's what I am when it comes to the Amico. I'm excited for a video game console.
Well, I mean, that's why you go to
Don't
YouTube
expect that
in
from
the
a
first
journalist
place.
either.
You go to YouTube for people's opinions and for their content and to talk to them. That's why it's YouTube. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
No, I
It's
go to
not-
YouTube because
It's
I
not-
want to know all the drama, baby, all of it.
well, there's plenty of that too.
Yeah, there's plenty of that, man. We could point you towards some channels if that's what you want to go
I was
do.
about to say, I know Sister Saggy can hook you up.
Girlfriend, I need
No.
that sweet juice.
I mean, I appreciate. I mean, look, I hold no ill will towards anybody. I really don't. And even the people who, apparently, I trigger so much by simply liking the system, they have to go talk shit about me on a live stream. Whatever. That's.
I'm
whatever.
sorry, Mike.
That
Is that where
The
some
click-
of this is coming from tonight? Because you were kind of like ready to throw hands immediately when you walked in.
There are
because you
there are
because
definitely
you told me
people-
I could. You told me I had to like.
What do
the
you mean,
Switch.
Pete? I could have sworn you were objective.
But I mean, to me that stuff is that is a miserable person compensating for their miserableness. That is a part of it. I'm not gonna lie. It just that plus everything else just becomes this, and I just. It's not. It's
not anything you need in your life.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to talk about the box edition stuff, which we're going to talk about tomorrow night on our show.
Yeah.
I've got a guy coming on tomorrow night, a guest that actually is really excited for the Amico. Like he saw Tommy last time Tommy was on our show, and he pre-ordered one, and he's like, he's like me. All right, it sucks, but I can wait. It sucks, but I can wait. And it does suck. It sucks that we're waiting.
How many more games do we have that we could play? I could play
exactly
games on my Genesis, my Switch, my
dude. I've got a
I've
monster of a backlog, and it grows
I got
daily.
a backlog. I got a backlog a mile wide. A mile wide.
Whoa.
I mean,
So you're a girth guy, is what you're telling everyone.
you know, I am not hurting to play games until this thing comes out.
Lance Jennings.
You know, and when it does, it's go time.
Yeah.
You know, but that's what I care about. That's what I care about. And the rest of it, you know.
Pete's comment's the best.
Oh man. Okay, I gotta read this one because want to know my biggest Amico books? Well,
I gotta
Tommy crawling out at night to whisper, "Wouldn't that be something?" through the house.
Through the house.
If you say his name 3 times, he will show. Just don't do it in a mirror. He'll be right there in the bathroom with you.
Oh, that's awesome, Pete.
I gotta say, I like new OEB Pete. I like new OEB Pete. He's fun.
Yeah, he did a fantastic video today on, you know, system delays. Where he talked about
yet. I was thinking like I need to watch this and I got busy.
It's an absolutely outstanding video, and it kind of talks about the good delays versus the not so good delays. It was the good, bad, and the ugly of delays, and you know the ones that are okay. And he brought up like the Evercade Versus because that got delayed. Mm-hmm. Nobody said anything about that. That got delayed. You know the controversial.
Wait a minute. What got delayed?
The Evercade Versus. I'm sorry.
I haven't even heard about this. When did this happen?
I happened like a week or two ago.
I haven't seen any videos about it.
You know,
it was last week.
I was drunk during that video. Drunk Pete might actually become my favorite Pete. What's up, brother? Back. I mean, but it was an outstanding video, and it was, you know, it's grounding a little bit because, you know, when it comes to what's going on now, you also have to remember there's you know 3 to 4 miles of ships sitting off the coast of California right now. You know, if he's going to bring in, let's say for a moment, you know, he can't get this thing assembled in China, which I don't think he can right now. I mean, China's still going through power outages, you know, and stuff like that. So let's say he's got to build this thing here, right? He can't ship the parts by boat because the boats will never get here. So, you know, there's just so much to this that it's also affecting other people. I guarantee, you know, the Analog Pocket was delayed, right?
Yeah.
All right. The Playdate's going to get delayed because that thing's got parts in it that no other system has, like a
It's already been delayed 3 times.
And that's been delayed 3 times. Look at go back to the Polymega. The Polymega was delayed, and the company at one point, not only did the company get kicked out of Walmart, but the company lost its credit for a while. And you want to talk about a company that sounded like it was just going to...
They let it expire, dude.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, you want to talk about a company that sounded like they were just going to fade off into the sunset and not even talk to their customers.
Oh, yeah, they didn't even respond to their customers, did they?
No. And I remember...
They were totally calm silent, man.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say this. I get the frustration, right? When people get real critical about the delays, and I understand that because we all hate it. Nobody's happy about it. And what you're pointing out right now is, yes, it's not like this is the only thing that's been delayed. And that's sort of where we have a problem with sort of the dishonesty that we see sometimes when people start to overly criticize the delays for the Amico. It's happened with all kinds of crap. Everything from trucks and cars to computers and TVs and everything.
I went into a furniture store.
I got a controller that I bought, and they told me it wouldn't even come close to being shipped until November. How about that 3 months ago?
Try to order a monitor from Dell. And I walked into a furniture store because I need to replace my sofa, and I'm going to get some home theater seating. The guy said, "Oh,
sexy."
It's a repro, isn't it?
Hey,
repro.
Mullis, why do you have to criticize what he loves? Okay,
That's right. He doesn't care about your
I
opinion
kinda,
either.
Yeah.
I kind of,
He's
Yeah.
you know what?
kinda
He's
wanna-
sick and
I wanna
tired
kinda
of
wanna
hearing your white noise about his
right.
repros.
It's all like yap 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 yap. How's
Hey,
it
don't
feel,
criticize
Mike?
the repro until you played the repro.
oh, what's he? Sure, there's no
Spicy.
crushed up
Arrabbiata.
crushed up glass in that spaghetti you're eating, Nick.
Oh shit!
Oh, man.
But anyway, I went into the store to go look for a sofa, and the guy literally said, "You better order it now because there is a 12-week delay in getting anything." So I mean, this is, this is
Straw
not
beds in 2022. You've heard it through your first.
right. So yeah, I mean, it's disappointing, but good Lord, I mean, you can't. What can you do aside from just go get the parts yourself and build it yourself? I mean, that's the alternative, right?
Here's the problem I have with. So James, no offense, I understand that Amico's not ready to go. You can't compare it. Based on what you've seen,
How do you know the Evercade VS is ready to go?
Right.
yeah.
How do you know the plate?
How do you know the
Yeah.
plate
Right.
is ready to go?
These systems don't stop working on their user interface. They don't stop working on their menus. They don't stop working on their games until they absolutely have to. So the fact that they are saying like, okay, this game isn't ready, or this game isn't ready, or we saw, Rigid Force Redux enhanced with some filler text on there. The reason we saw it with filler text on there is because they have to translate it into 8 languages. You have to pay to have it translated into 8 languages. They're trying to save some money because they are in operations for a whole additional year without revenue. So they're trying to delay some costs. So when they say like the games are 95% done, there's a few things they have to do at kind of the last minute. They kind of understand that. The fact that we were saying like, is the system ready to go? It's always going to be at like 95, 99% until like the time like, no, okay, we've got to have it out by, December 15th. So the turn off where it ends at November 1st is where it ends. And then we put it into production. This narrative that, oh, the games aren't done, the system's not done, the UI is not done, the store's not done. This is coming from people who don't have information. They haven't reached out to Intellivision. They haven't reached out to the developers of those games. They haven't played those games. So they don't have they're going off the narrative that, look, I see and there's something that's not done, so it's not done, or this has a glitch in it, or this has an error in it, or did you see the state of Cornhole when they're looking at like reworking the physics on like a background engine that just gets reworked right into the game? It doesn't look like it's a finished state because it's not. So those sorts of things, I understand skepticism. Don't take everything Intellivision says at their word. That's gullibility. But if you're dismissing everything that they say as well, then maybe you are missing a lot of the narrative. Because the only people that know what's ready to go is Intellivision. We don't know. All of us on this panel don't know where this is.
I'll be honest, would I played in Philadelphia, had you shipped that to me right then, I would have told you it was in a more stable state than my PS5 was for the first month I owned it.
Absolutely.
Example.
Yeah.
100%
Yep.
true.
I mean, my
I
PS5
would've-
was
I would've took that
flaky
right
for the
there.
first month, man.
My PS5
It
would
did some
randomly just go
weird
into
stuff.
sleep
You know,
mode.
there's
My
two
PS5 would
things,
just shut off
right?
on me.
And knowing
Got
that,
rid of it.
and I'm glad you brought that up, Rab, because the cornhole thing is so bizarre to me. They would have shipped the cornhole game with the control scheme it had in it had they shipped on time. The same thing with Rigid Force Redux. They would have gotten what they need to get done. The fact that they don't have
Correct.
that they are working on the system, trying to get it manufactured. They have this extra time. The whole reason that they did the cornhole thing, and John Alvarado and Tommy himself, like John Alvarado explained this. They knew that they had more time. So they went back and they looked at something that they probably wouldn't have looked at originally and said, hey, we've got the time. We can make this better before we do have to launch the console. So let's give it a shot. And so what they were showing, as we all saw, were the kind of the technical mock-ups that then they send off to the developer to say, hey, try putting this in your game. If they had to ship Cornhole the way they were going to ship Cornhole, it would have been perfectly fine. They took the extra time. With Rigid Force Redux, I'm pretty sure he said this somewhere. Yeah, they could have gone ahead and put all the text, but they've got the time to deal with it. So now it's not as big a priority for them to finish the text right this second than it is to manufacture the console. And when it's ready, it'll be ready. They're not going to ship Rigid Force Redux with Firefox with Star Fox's text. You can pretty much believe that. It's
and they
just
shouldn't continue to show it with that either.
Well, and I
well,
mean,
they did. They didn't show it publicly.
I understand.
They didn't show it publicly, and that's the part that bugged me even more. They didn't show it publicly. Someone took a picture of it. They put it on wherever they put it. They shouldn't have.
Funny? How many of us played Moon Patrol and didn't even notice that?
Oh yeah,
right.
I played Moon Patrol and everything seemed fine to me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It was Moon Patrol. That's right. It was Moon Patrol.
It was Moon Patrol.
Yeah, it was Moon Patrol.
All right. So Rigid Force is done then.
Correct.
Why are we? Yeah. So Rigid Force is done. So yeah. Thank you.
Wasn't Moon Patrol,
it was Moon Patrol.
Wasn't that? I mean, from what was it? The Utah thing. Wasn't that showing the rest of it done, or is that still?
They weren't. I don't think they were live demoing Moon Patrol.
Moon Patrol was. We were playing.
By request.
We were playing. Hey, we were playing Moon Patrol at the museum event.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, were you guys? Because I didn't see that one loaded up.
Oh yeah. I got footage.
I played it the next night at John's. It was the first time I got to play it on
we
the
played it
console.
at John's, but they didn't show it at Crayola to the general public.
Max was giving Brett Wise shit about it. Because,
I have that on video. I have to put that video out.
Yeah, we were playing
pretty good.
We were playing it back then.
We played the shit out of Moon Patrol in July.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. But the publicly shown games at Crayola were Astro Smash, Shark, Biplanes, and the charades.
Yep.
Well, publicly shown games in Texas was. I mean, I've got a list.
Did they show that publicly, or did they show that kind of as we were winding down?
They showed it publicly.
Okay.
Hi, Pete.
All right.
Yeah, and
good night, brother Pete.
In March at the Texas event, there was Missile Command, there was Rigid Force Redux, there was Dynablasters, there was skiing. We played biplanes, we played Astro Smash, we played Shark. I'm trying to think. Maybe that's it, but we played a ton of games, and that was in March.
Battle tanks. You mentioned that.
Battle tanks. Yeah.
And I played that privately.
But all that was in public. That was at the museum.
Strikers.
Yeah.
Space Strikers. Yeah.
There was a lot, actually. There was a lot we didn't really ask about. I think Pool was on there too. Or Billiards.
Breakout was on there, apparently.
Breakout was
there was multiple games we didn't play.
Baseball was on there.
There was 2 games on there that were not announced yet.
Well, you know what Tommy told us. Y'all remember what Tommy told us. There was a game that we all wanted to play desperately that was available, and we didn't know about it because we didn't ask, and he forgot to tell us. How could we not ask? But we're all we are all collectively morons for not asking.
I forgot which game you're talking about.
We got a really good sampling of what
a lot of white
console
noise
had to offer early on.
Cyrus, put the name of the game in the chat because I forget.
It was.
Was it this one?
Yes.
I can't. Why would we not ask to play that?
It was. Oh my god! You're right.
He told us.
But we were having so much fun with everything else. I didn't even think.
Yeah, he's getting ready to go, and he's like, "Oh my god, y'all are gonna kill me!" And we're like, "What?" And he's like, "I got it, and you didn't ask me about it."
I didn't even think about. We
didn't expect it. We didn't expect it.
I mean, I was happy enough to play Battle Tanks, better known as Armor Battle, but I didn't even think about that.
Nope.
Wow.
And that's why I was so mad at all of you.
I was just,
just blame it
I was busy shielding the ears of young children.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
So, anyways.
And Space Strikers.
Yeah. Space Strikers was actually pretty neat once you got the hang of it.
Space Strikers is one of those games that came out of nowhere. I mean, obviously,
like that game, and I like it.
Yeah, I mean, of all the games that of all the games, it was the one that I had no interest in until I actually played it. And Relic's kid and I played that Pong version of it that was really good, and I was like hooked on it.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
I'm looking forward
only
to a lot of these
It was
little
like
games like that, just sort of coming out of left field. Like, oh, this is different.
Did y'all
This
get
is
to
something
play
like Warlord or something?
Yeah.
Did y'all get to play
Yeah.
skiing at all? Did y'all play?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I saw
The
it.
Rebel
You get to
857
play
guys
it.
played skiing.
Saggy
I
got
did
to play
That's
not.
it.
pretty funny.
I did not.
Saggy loves skiing. And I have her on video. playing
That's a
with
really
me.
fun game. It's way better than the old. I mean, it's a good skiing game.
Hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
The original skiing is really hard to control in the old Intellivision, but the new one, it's not. Once you figure out how to do the analog-y kind of disc thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that being part of the
I would
box.
love to
like
see
an
that
Astro
part of the
Smash,
next
too.
boxed editions. Absolutely.
I would love to see an Astro Smash. Like it's a lot of those pack-in.
Well, and he talked about that on Sunday too. That because somebody had asked, and I've been curious about that too. Were they going to do boxed editions for the packing games? And he
If they don't do a box version of Night Stalker, what are we doing? You know, if there's not
Right.
like, why is this even happening? If we
Yeah.
don't
The coin has to have the yeah.
What is the point of this
Night Stalker
console?
Astro
The coin has to have the original robot on it.
Dude,
the original robot, okay,
Yeah.
or the gun,
Here's
Or
a
the
good
gun,
question.
or the spider.
yeah,
That would
something.
be cool.
Here's a good question. What do you guys think the next 8 boxed editions would be?
I think it's going to
Well,
be a mix. So you might have something like Intellivision Spades or like a card type of game, because this is very much a mix.
Dealer needs to come back, dude. Perfect.
Do we have the
I
complete?
would like to see Breakout.
Yeah. Do we have the
yeah.
complete launch lineup, or at least
No.
the complete? Yeah, that's
I'd love
part
to
of
see
the.
No, we're missing about 3 to 4 games.
I thought we were missing more than that. I thought he was talking about launching with close to 30 games.
I think that's. not
I
gonna
think that's
happen.
going to scale back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do
think
too.
it's
I
gonna be
do
more like
too. That's why I'm
maybe.
wondering what the initial lineup is going to be.
the
I mean,
fucking
obviously we know-
system, the fucking system.
6. Let's just keep it at 6. Get it out.
Right. Don't you criticize Cyrus.
Well, I mean,
Don't make me
somebody
there.
somebody made a comment
Well-
earlier, and it was way earlier that Smash had hinted that they already had the box designed.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
this-
You
for
actually
the
got
console,
to see the box.
which is
Smash
honestly
got
a
to see the
good.
box.
And they said, "Isn't that a good sign?" And I would agree that is a very good.
I would
sign.
hope so.
I think I've seen the box too, but I'm not.
I think I want to be surprised for the box. There's a few
Yeah.
things I haven't really been able to be surprised about, and I think I might just.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That would be
Like, I've seen
dope.
so
Dude.
much shit. I'm like, I
Dude.
don't, I don't know.
They
I love
got to
that
do
idea.
that. They got to put the mustache
So,
on the dealer. for
What?
the-
Yeah. John Alvarado's mustache.
Hey, speaking of this, before
It's
I
got to be
forget-
John's face.
Before I forget, 'cause we're going on almost 2 hours. I'm debuting a new song tonight, whatever time it is in your area. And this is a good segue because it is the Shifty Eye Dealer. Then we'll come back and wrap
Bring it.
up and
Bring
talk
it.
a little bit. But I wanted to show you where is it? So here we go. So if anyone's watching a replay, Friday, I swear to you, I'm sorry I keep promising and delaying, but that's what happens. But I will have a full website to buy this album. It should be ready Friday. It's just the bank account information takes a couple days. They got to do deposit, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, Friday, I'll announce it on my channel, the website, full album, or you can buy the songs as singles.
How much is that? How much is the album?
Album's going to be
Three-
$12.
Oh.
If you
Three
guys-
payments of
three
$29.99.
payments.
Wow.
Order
Yeah.
now.
Unfortunately, you can't buy the songs single. You have to buy
Songs
them.
available
No, you can buy the
nowhere.
single. You can do one.
You
Yeah.
have
It's
to
a
buy
limited
them
edition.
Packs of 4 or 8.
Yeah.
But I want to do a vinyl. But anyways, speaking of John and Shifty, this might be. Let's just check this out.
Las Vegas is the town I arrived in style. Pop my head out the sunroof just for a while. Sunshine on my face. This is the place. I gotta hit all the fun spots. It ain't no race. Walked in at the door. Now what's in store? As I see all the lights reflecting on the floor. Vegas poker and blackjack, and that's my aim. I hit the 6 on the overlay for the same game. Classic signs, these classic rhymes, and these classic feels for these classic times. Blackjack the game. As I sit down, the Shifty Eye Dealer away from the table, wonder who is this guy? Pretty slick dresser, and some would call fly. What's his story? How long has it been? Do I trust him? I don't know if I can. Perplexing, vexing questions in my brain. Then he takes the win. Oh, so vain. Checking the crowd, his eyes wandering around. Whatever he's looking for, I hope that he found. Winning a hand, it just feels like a lotto. The guy's mustache looks like John Alvarado. Where does he come from? How much does he make? He bluffs and he grins, but guaranteed no fake. Should I work up the courage to go up to him? And I ask all these questions when he's got that grin. And I better wait, cause I see that frown. Gotta come back later when it's upside down. Shifty idea, what's he all about? Looking left and right with a frown on his mouth. Who you gonna hit? The way is quiet as a mouse, but you only see him grin when you lose to the house. Shifty idea, what's he all about? Looking left and right with his little frowny mouth. Who you gonna hit? The way is quiet as a mouse, but you only see him grin when you lose to the house. No one at his table, so here's my chance. A white shirt, black hair, what color are his pants? Does he even have legs? Maybe a robot, just like video poker, or maybe a slot. And I take a deep breath and I start to walk up. The poker chips cooking around all inside my cup. And he turns around and looks me right in the eyes. He smiles really big, to my surprise. I said, hello, sir, can I ask a question? And his eyebrows changed with a suggestion. He grabbed my cup and chips flew everywhere. Then he told me that it's not polite to stare. A guy in a suit was standing nearby, gestured with his eyes anyway, bye-bye. And I'll never find out, I guess I'll never know, never see. Just another Intellivision mystery. Shifty idea, what's he all about? Looking left and right with a frown on his mouth. Who you gonna hit? The wait is quiet as a mouse, but you only see him grin when you lose to the house. Shifty idea, what's he all about? Looking left and right with his little frowny mouth. Who you gonna hit? The wait is quiet as a mouse, but you only see him grin when you lose to the house. Shifty idea, what's he all about? Looking left and right with a frown on his mouth. Who you gonna hit? The wait is quiet as a mouse, but you only see him grin when you lose to the house. Shifty idea, what's he all about? Looking left and right with his little frowny mouth. Who you gonna hit? The wait is quiet as a mouse, but you only see him grin when you lose to the house.
If you delay this album, I will riot.
So many delays. No, I've all of the delays.
And there's John Alvarado coming in at like the very
Oh,
last
hey,
minute.
John.
The
He was
shifty
working the whole
idea.
time,
I'm just talking
man.
about
It's like
you being the
Shifty
shifty Alvarado
Alvarado.
himself.
You summoned him.
God, you summoned him.
See, that's
Shifty
how you
Alvarado.
summon. You make a song that says his name, and he will show in the chat, and he will come and say, "Awesome." Thanks, sir. Thank you so much.
Oh,
But,
did I hear my name in the lyrics? Yes, you did, sir. Yes, you did.
Yes, it was the guy's mustache looks like John Alvarado.
Royalties.
I was gonna
Yeah, there
say,
you go. You're gonna have
and
your
now,
royalties. Now talk
and
to
now
Tommy.
the copyright strike is coming.
Cease and desist.
Hey, Tommy heard it ahead of time. So.
Chuck wakes up. Chuck wakes up with a DMCA takedown.
Good luck fighting that.
Oh, Jan, what a come on now. No, but anyways, yeah, no, that was fun. We had so much fun making that. It was like trying to get it on time. But yes, Friday website. It's already up there. I just don't want to say now because people are going to go there and then they'll be like, I tried to pay and it didn't go through. I just want to make sure everything's running smooth. But Friday, tune into my channel and I'll let you know where to get it.
So, is that a real electric guitar? Is that like a sim?
Oh, that's real guitar. That was my buddy Eric. He's basically it's kind of me and him are the Devastating Just Cause band. And there you go, buddy.
No kidding.
There you go. Yeah, and you can buy them as a single. You don't even have to buy the whole album. Just get the one that mentions you, man. No, but
Don't tell them that. Make them buy the whole album.
the mustache is important intellectual property.
That's
I
right.
know. Chuck, we got to learn you, man.
But anyway,
Not a salesman.
I know.
You tell him that track comes as part of the album only.
Like it's contingent on you getting your Amico. So
Wow.
You know, I
I feel like that's a little harsh, but okay.
Wow.
You know what I mean? No, it was so much fun, man. And anyways, I just wanted to. I know I was mentioning that I was going to do that, and I was almost going to forget. And, but yes, it will be available. I promise. I promise. I promise. No more delays. Well, well,
Been a
everyone.
night.
I think it's been fun. We're hitting at the
The
2 o'clock.
Has it, Chuck?
It's been an interesting evening. We'll say that.
I have to
It's
go back
been
and watch
awesome,
the first
man.
part of this. I can't wait.
See, John says I'm buying the whole album for sure. Thank you.
Oh my God.
But I was gonna go around and see what's everybody's got going on their channels. We'll start with Bruce Willis Psy if he's doing anything.
yippee-ki-yay.
Oh man, I can't unsee that now.
Yeah, he looks
You
like
ruined
the
it
Die
for me.
Hard
Oh
figures.
wow.
Building next to him.
Come to the cuz, we'll have a few laughs or whatever. I don't know. So I'm good. I'm just doing my Amico Joy channel and just having some fun, trying to keep it light, trying to keep it fun. I do have that secondary TurboGrafx thing going on, which is nothing major. It's just a little TurboGrafx thing, which I refuse to tell you how to find. Other than that,
I don't like the TurboGrafx, so I'm gonna go make 7 videos about it.
most
That's blasphemy.
what we've got. Oh, that's
Look at
oh,
that.
Ooh,
Guys,
oh,
distracted.
oh,
Situation
oh,
diffused.
oh.
shiny
I
object.
don't remember what I was saying.
Cyrus is sitting on a puddle now.
Hey, maybe this may condition Kadash.
You son of a bitch! Like, dude, I got to tell you something about that game, Kadash. So it took me until just a couple of months ago to find a ROM of Kadash, the US version, that would even work on my Turbo Everdrive. Like
Really?
the PC Engine one, no problem. But a working ROM of the Kadash for TurboGrafx for the US version is like impossible to find. But I finally found one, and I
Can
finally.
you say that again into this FBI approved?
Just repeat that once again. Slowly.
No, wait a minute.
clearly.
Eating paste
What?
says I can only be so hard.
Wow. Oh my God.
Woo!
Happy trails, Hans. All right, you guys. Next.
Great.
There's a pillow over here.
I'm not sure how I can follow up on that one.
Well, you got a good Ghostbusters run, so I've
Oh
seen
God,
so far.
I have been. God, I feel like I'm gonna be a ghost if I keep fighting Sony like I am. I got my review of the Ghostbusters movie done like 2 days ago, and I'm like, great, I'll get it uploaded. And then like I started uploading the video, and it's like, okay, copyright strike. All right, it's editing, upload, copyright strike. 7 times.
Jesus.
I have been copyright struck on this thing.
Good
so
Lord.
I'm gonna
Wow.
have to redo the whole thing in order to get it out.
Yeah, you have to
and
take
this-
the audio out, dude. I'm telling you.
I have to, I don't
Yeah.
have much in the way of audio,
Yeah,
and
it
they don't
doesn't
care
matter,
about
dude.
the
It's
audio.
like, wow.
Just the footage itself, they don't like.
No, I think they do care about the audio. I think you're getting
Some of it, yeah,
I think
but
the
some of the
audio is
parts that
flagging.
they're-
The audio is flagging
Yeah,
it, dude. I'm telling you, the audio is flagging it.
Yeah,
If you
I
upload
would.
it without the audio, I can almost guarantee you'll be good.
Okay, well,
Just voice over it with your own voice.
Yeah.
honestly,
Have
I thought
have
about
side
just
in a
doing
world.
drawings of stuff
The world.
and putting them up
The
there.
figures.
Because one section was it was just me talking, and I had no audio, and they flagged that portion anyway.
Oh my gosh.
So I fixed that portion with other things that fit with what I was trying to say, and then they flagged another portion, and then I thought, okay, I'm finally starting to get through this because I'm progressing through the video, and then they go back to the beginning of the video, and I'm like, oh, son of a! I felt almost worse then than I did on my stream the other night, where the game was like kicking my butt. So, there's that. So I may have to take a break from that and redo that. So I might have to think of some other content to do. Between now and then, I'm thinking about doing a video following up on the boxed media because there were a lot of good suggestions for pack-ins for that people made in the comments that I thought were enough to kind of make a list of just random suggestions. It might be something short, but that could be something fun to do. And anything else, I have no idea because they keep getting copyright struck on anything, and it's very depressing. I'm going to go cry now. I have no beer. God damn it.
I know I'm out of beer too. I just had tap water, and that's sad.
And, so every time Nick hears the Ghostbusters song, he's gonna get pissed off.
Or go somewhere and cry. Just huddle in a corner and like rock back and forth for an hour.
Thank you.
That's all
So
I got.
retro, bro. John, what you got going?
Oh, what do I got? Genesis Project, new episode should be next week.
Ooh, what do we got? What do we got coming?
I'm not telling you. You have to watch it.
I don't want to watch the video to find out what you get. I mean, that's too much like work.
You just tell us. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll tell you off air if you really want to know.
Oh,
but I'm not. I'm honestly like I've just been enjoying Sega stuff. Like even on my streams, I've just been like picking a game to stream. Like the other night, I streamed Shinobi 3, the best Shinobi.
Shinobi 3 is
of all
badass.
time.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the best one.
Nick, I tried to explain to him Revenge of Shinobi, but he wasn't listening.
Which version of Revenge of
Revenge of
Shinobi?
Shinobi is one of those games that you kind of love it, but you also
I don't hate.
like
I
throw it
don't
into
dislike.
a deep dark pit
I
and light it on
dislike.
fire.
Yeah, I don't dislike. I don't dislike Revenge of Shinobi. I just think
He said-
Shinobi 3 is better.
He said Revenge of Shinobi to him is like Sonic CD to him.
Whoa!
Is what he
Who
said.
said
Wow,
that?
really?
Whoa.
I don't think it's that offensive.
Whoa!
Shinobi 3 is so much more polished, man. That game is so amazing.
I haven't gotten to that one yet.
Eating
That-
pace
that-
and Revenge of
Shinobi, now
Shinobi
with
is
the
Ninja
trigger
Gaiden
warning.
1.
Listen, you'll never go play Revenge of Shinobi again. Like everything that's
I
wrong
don't think
with
there's a
Revenge
chance
of
of me
Shinobi,
going
they're
back and
fixing
playing
it.
Revenge of Shinobi again anytime soon.
Revenge of Shinobi is too fucking hard, man. That game's
Beat
way
it.
too hard.
That's it. I'm done. Sick of forking me.
Wait, I thought we got past all the arguing. Like we were all
Here we
getting.
go. Everybody, take a
But no, that's all I'm gonna have for now. I'm still I put gaming through the decades. Unfortunately, that's on hiatus due to some life changes I'm trying to make right now, and that just is that's too much of a time commitment. So I don't know when I'll restart that.
I'm still trying to get you if we could do. I want to do that 16-bit and up, which is kind of like like we were talking about.
Yeah, I want to do it. Trust me,
Yeah,
there's a lot that I want to do.
Right.
Like,
Oh, I hear you. Yeah, I know. And I was talking to Jeff from Go Game Go because he's like a huge Turbo fan. So I was like, "Oh, dude, perfect. You definitely have to come on." So I might try to do that. I might try to do a stream on a Friday. So whoever wants to come on, just to try it out. But
I was mad. I was mad. You guys talked about Sega on Retro Rouge. You guys didn't even invite me on.
That's a no-no.
Yeah.
Man, was I heartbroken, Nick.
Yeah, if you do a TurboGrafx show, you got to let me know. You
Oh,
gotta,
dude, yeah.
He won't let you know.
So,
He won't let you know.
Disgraziate.
If you guys are digging into the APS, let me know.
Oh shit!
Note to self: do TurboGrafx show. Tell everyone but
We have-
Sai.
Look, let me put it like this. Chuck, we've been getting along really well, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Up to a point.
Let's keep it that way.
I'll get you a couple white claws.
Cyrus, come in like it's like, hey Hans, that's a nice YouTube channel you got there. Shame if something happened to it.
Shame if you got copyright strike. Who are you gonna call?
Oh my gosh.
Oh no, Nick's don't do that.
Mr. Mike, what you got going, man?
I don't have a YouTube channel. I'm out.
You don't?
What?
That's just the next level gaming. I don't even know what that is. What is that?
Yeah. So I was, I actually was going to stream Back for Blood again tonight because we did that last night, but I came over here to just stir shit up.
Apparently, yes. We were having a civil discourse, and Mike walks in and goes,
Nah.
"Who wants
He's
some?"
like, this is I'm gonna liven this up.
We gotta get you a mission accomplished banner.
Oh my god!
Little confetti launchers from the sides.
Great.
Hey, I come in like that seed from Mission Impossible with Henry Cavill. Tomorrow night's the NLG show, 9:00 Eastern. We got a cool guest coming on, somebody from one of our other Gamers United Guild shows. And I other than we are going to kind of go over the Intellivision box edition stuff, because a lot of the folks in our audience are not, they're it's not Amico specific. So, we're going to tell them what's going on and kind of talk a little bit about that. But then there's just not a lot of other video game news out there this week. We've already talked about the Halo and the Battlefield betas last week. So there's
I heard bad stuff about that Battlefield.
It's you want to talk? Yeah, DJ, Chuck, watch that. You want to talk about a game that you want to talk about a game that's not ready. EA had to come out and say, "Oh no, that was a build from like months ago." And we're like, okay, you're launching next month, and the game looks like this.
Look what John did.
And everybody's going to complain about it, but continue to play it constantly.
Well, but see, here's the thing: not with Battlefield. What's going to that happens with Call of Duty, and everybody complains about Call of Duty, and people are complaining about Vanguard. But they're going to buy it. It's going to be the #1 selling game for, the entire year.
Dude, that piece of trash they sold me on my PS5 still has me pissed.
Dude,
I didn't even get a fourth of my game when I bought it. I'm like, what the hell?
Dude, and Battlefield has no single-player campaign. So they're going to charge you...
What?
Whatever they're going to charge you $60 or $70.
They're going to charge you $60 for it, too.
And which is why I'm waiting till it comes out on EA Play, and then I'll play it for free. Because I'm not paying $60 for a multiplayer only game that played like that.
I never got the Battlefield 5. I never even got that one.
Yeah.
So
I have happily not played a Battlefield since the first one.
I used to like it. I used to like Bad Company, and I actually was one of the few that liked Battlefield Hardline because it was something a little different.
The only Battlefield I ever really played was 1942.
That was a good one. That was a good one. 5 was not horrible, but I don't know. Barring that, there's really the overall video game news. Because for those who don't know and who are never going to watch because because they hate me now, we cover.
You brought this on yourself a little bit tonight.
I know. We cover Xbox, PlayStation. We do cover the Switch, even though I hate it, Nick. We cover, pretty much modern retro, pretty much modern gaming with some retro tinge to it.
What you got to do, Mullis, is you don't engage with them. That's what you got to do, Mullis. You got to not engage with them.
He's stuck on a podcast with me now. He sort of got to engage with me to a limited extent.
Don't listen to that other guy, Mullis. Listen. Don't listen to him. Come check out the channel. You'll really like it. That other guy that was here a few minutes ago, the angry guy, he's not really part of the.
For the audience's benefit, you got to understand. Mullis is always telling us. Mullis is he's always telling us don't get involved with all the drama and leave all that alone. It's funny. That's
partially why we're finding this so funny. It's because he was the driving force behind this tonight, and he's the one going, I don't know why you guys even engage with him all the
So,
time.
anyway, we're going to try to figure out some shit to talk about tomorrow night. I don't know, really, because, again, there's really not a lot of big Xbox, PlayStation, and so... sometimes when we do that, we'll try to figure out like a topic, like PSVR, for example. PlayStation VR is 5 years old. Sony put out a blog about it, and they're hinting that they're going to give away some decent VR games, which they did during their state of play. I got a nice copy of Moss, which I need to get playing. They're hinting that they might give Beat Saber away, so we may talk about kind of the effects of VR and gaming and where the future is, and if it really is going to hit some sort of critical mass or not. I'm trying to think if that's going to be a topic for us, but
you also might want to speculate on them giving out 6 games instead of 3 next month before the anniversary of the PlayStation Plus.
Didn't you break one of those, Chuck?
I did.
He did. So
this one.
So they're giving out 6 games this
Hobbling
month
Man
instead of 3.
The Hobbling Man.
I don't know what all
And,
of them are going to be. I think some of them are
back
VR focused
together.
games too. So I might segue into what you're talking about there.
So, and we have a great chat room. So, Nogar said he'll come check it out. We have a fantastic chat room filled with great gamers who, we are, in all honesty, we are a very drama-free channel. So, I mean, I do, in all honesty, at least over on my channel in my house.
That's why Mike will bring it to him.
I'll let it out over here.
I will vouch for Mike. It is a very chill environment to just kind of hang out. There's a lot of friendliness there.
No, and in all
water
seriousness,
because it's going to go about 6 hours. So
yeah, no, because I'm trying to be in bed by midnight now. So.
That is awesome.
Fair enough. No, seriously. No, so
you gonna play some
come
more
hang on.
Saturn games pretty soon? When you doing
yes.
that?
Now I'm camping over the weekend with Seth's Scout Troop, but Sunday afternoon I might do another Saturn Sunday. And in honor of John playing Shinobi 3, I might break out Shinobi Legions. Which
I thought you were going to say
actually-
Sonic CD.
That's a good game. I thought Shinobi Legions is tough, man.
It is tough. It
That
is
tree
very
level
tough.
pisses me off. It's
So
like
the
second
tree
level.
level's not the level that gets me. The third level in the whatever house that is gets me every time.
Those graphics are kind of weird though. Like I have,
Yeah,
Well-
it's the Mortal Kombat graphics. It's
Yes.
digitized. It's digitized
Yep.
graphics, so
Yeah.
you gotta get used to it.
And it's not a Sega game. It's not made in house by Sega. It's actually made by Victor Kai.
I'd
So
love for you
they-
to stream that because I suck at that game.
All right, so I will. All right, done. I will stream on Sunday. I'll stream.
do you only play like legit copies, or do you have like burned copies too?
So my Saturn is not. I do not have anything to play burns on Saturn. Every Saturn game I have is completely legit.
Purist.
How much is like?
This Raps
Well,
isn't
that
like it's a
was
bad
like
thing.
$250.
I'm just
Game store and
yeah. What kind of
Insane.
collection do you have? Because Jesus, those games are like.
So
Well,
I
He's
will
done a
tell you.
video where he's shown like some of his more expensive games.
Yeah.
But I think you got into it a long time ago, so you were able to afford some of those heavy hitters.
I have a feeling after this, Nogar and I are gonna be like best friends. at the end of
I
this.
know, now you just made a new friend.
So, well, they started asking me about. John had asked me about Sega, and whenever you start asking me about Sega, man, that's a whole new show. So,
Or for our Australian friends, Sega.
so let me put it this way: my top 2 games right now in my collection are Burning Rangers, which just crossed the $700 mark,
Ugh.
Yeah.
followed by Mega Man 8 Anniversary, which is $650.
God dang.
I just burned myself a copy of Burning Rangers the other day. It's
And your
funny because
copy
I
is
did
worth
that-
your copy's worth $3.99, whatever it costs to burn out.
Well, it was
But you
less
know what?
than that. It's
So,
like $1.50.
look, no,
But you know
look,
what, man?
and honestly,
playing my Saturn. That's all I care.
no,
about.
no, and look,
Are
if
you-
I knew then what I know now, I'd have a much, much, much larger collection. I think we all would. I have regretted, dude. I had, yeah, and it's a great game on top of that. So
Are you worried at
Um,
all about disc rot? Because I I just got it on a Saturn game that I have, and I was like, oh shit. Like it just happened out of nowhere.
Yeah, I honestly am, and that's one of the reasons that the Poly Mega is still, even though I have a Saturn, the Poly Mega is still a little intriguing to me.
Dude,
because
get yourself the cartridge, the Saturn, the pseudo Saturn. That way you could burn your games. That way you're still
and
using
just play the
hardware.
repos and still have
still using
a good
original
point.
hardware.
Yes,
That's a good point.
And you get the Mega, you get the RAM expansion when you do that. So you can play.
Is the RAM expansion part of that card?
Yeah, dude.
Ooh.
I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Like the Poly Mega is great, but it's just emulation, man. I mean,
You're right. No, you're right. So
no, you need to get that cart, dude, for real.
What's the cost of the pseudo?
Was it like 60?
Shit.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
And that's your Cyrus. I think about that all the friggin' time because
you need to
of my games.
It's a ticking time bomb.
Because not only are all my games legit, but they are my originals that I have had since 1995, 96.
I'm gonna tell you, Mullis, if you get disc right, you're gonna be so pissed. Like, I'm just saying, for the future.
This just happened to Cyrus. He knows.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you, and that's that. If the pseudo cart's only $60, But the other reason I was looking at the other thing that I do is I turned my OG Xbox into a RetroArch machine, and I basically burned ISOs of all of my Sega CD games, and that's how I play my Sega CD because I do not want my Sega CDs to rot because I've got some valuable Sega CDs too.
Well, dude, all I can tell you is CDs aren't it is what it is, man.
Dude, James.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. James Whitman said he rebought Panzer Dragoon Saga at 600. Dude, you got to steal.
No,
if you bought recently,
if you bought that.
I gotta say, man, I would be very concerned about owning CDs that are worth that much money because they really are a ticking time bomb.
And that's why the Sega CD stuff I totally emulate. But they're emulations of my legit games. But I am not interested in
to rot. Is a disc rot just from
dude?
It doesn't know, man. I've taken discs out of cases and they've snapped on me, dude. They just like
brittle and shit. Okay.
I have
super brittle.
I have a Saturn game that I bought just about a year ago, and it was fine when I bought it. And a couple of days ago, John asked me about it, and I looked at it, and it had rot.
Alien Trilogy, that's what it was. Because I was trying to burn it, I couldn't get a good rip for it. So. Yeah.
Yep.
Luckily, that disc is cheap. I could just buy the disc for like $20. So
we need to wrap this up. So I'm gonna go with Rab. What do you got going?
You should have renamed the show Sega Forever.
You have an hour now. Go.
Chuck will never have me on again.
Pass. We're good. We're running over time. I think I'm mostly where I was last week anyway. So
okay.
Please,
everyone, please.
Been great, everybody.
Please go and sub to, if you haven't already, sub to these guys in the panel here. They are fantastic. Don't sub to me. I'm terrible. Thanks to everyone in the chat. I'm not going to call everyone out. There was a lot. Thank you so much. Great discussions, fun, craziness. But in all, we're fans of video games. So we'll see you next time.
Yippee-ki-yay!